Happy Pride, everybody. Happy Pride. Happy Pride, everybody. Everybody looking good. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Good to see you here. Happy Pride. Cat got your tongue?
Audio's going a little loco right now.
The
There we
cat
go.
got your tongue?
The mute had my tongue.
Okay, I see it. Really quickly, ladies and gentlemen, there are a lot of people backstage. I need you guys in the chat. This conversation right now, I'm sorry if there was a miscommunication, is strictly for the star of the film and the producers, okay, and the director. I do want to bring you guys up later for the Q&A perhaps, but right now the only people on the screen, this is a screening, so we're going to talk about the film and how it all came to be. So I'm so grateful that you're all here. I am getting an echo. There's an echo. So you guys can hang back and give us a little time to discuss this. Welcome to On the Block with Jen. This is our first movie screening ever, okay, inaugural, and it can't be much better than having a film. There's an echo, guys.
So why is the sound being transphobic already? This is the first day
Yeah,
of Pride.
the sound is killing me.
I hate it.
Hold on, let me mute mics. If you're backstage, please mute your mic. Give me that 5.
Yes, and if you're backstage, just come from backstage and go to the regular show, just the regular link that was sent to you by me, not the link that's in the chat. You'll
Yeah.
go to that link later for when we come on up.
Yes, thank you. Testing. We're good now. We are good. Let's start this again. Hola, mi gente. Welcome to On the Block with Jen. This is our first film screening starring ours truly, Lili from YB Limited. This is her night, okay? And it's also first day of Pride, baby. Okay, this is June 1st. So happy Pride. We are here tonight for Lili. Lili, we're going to be all over you tonight. So you're going to be blushing, but this is your night. Okay, very, very special night. We're going to have some in-depth conversations, and we are also going to have a Q&A after the movie is very compelling. I've seen it, and you guys are going to have a lot of questions, I'm sure, afterwards. Okay, we're going to have some real conversations about LGBTQ, the rainbow, and everything about it. Okay, so buckle up. Here we go. I would like to introduce Lili from YB Limited. I want you to say a couple words, and then you this is your night. Okay, I'm just gonna sit back. I'll man the controls. Okay, this is your night. Introduce your guests, and we will take it from there.
Well, hello, everyone. I am Lili of YB Limited. That is the letter Y, the letter B, the word limited, the way it is spelled down here on the screen. And I don't know, I do this show 6 nights a week, and this is a very special night. And that's why I'm nervous, because I'm never nervous. I'm never nervous. I hop up on here every night and I'm like, boom, whatever. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, but anyway, I know I got tons and tons of support from the panel and this from the chat and just our usual audience. So I appreciate everyone who's coming out. This is a very important night for many, many, many reasons. One, before I entered this industry and being in front of the camera and things like that, once upon a time that was not possible for a trans non-binary person to be in front of the camera, to be in films and magazines and all of those things. So this right here, anything that I do, and I can speak for David and I can speak for Catherine, anything that we do, it's for those that came before us that were not able to do that. The people who came before us did not get praised for doing just living, just existing, right? So this is very special. So this is not just my story. The other thing is the film that you're going to see is not just an LGBTQ story. This is not a trans story. This is a human story. Anybody who has been watching this show long enough has ever seen an interview of me, you know how I identify. I identify as a spirit inside the body that embodies everything. That embodies every human. So that's what this type of story is. It's about self-love, self-acceptance. And I wouldn't have been able to tell this story without Mr. David Han that is on the bottom of our screen. He and I still don't know how we did it, David. I still don't know. You got you know, okay.
Got me.
Yes, I don't know how we did
Yeah.
it. It was a two-person crew,
Yeah,
and
it was a tour. It was a tour de force. It was a production marathon, which was funny because we didn't really have a deadline. It was the pandemic, it was
it
the
was the
lockdown.
pandemic.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Right. We were in the heart of the
right.
lockdown.
We were
We're
in
creators.
lockdown. Yep.
So that's
Yep.
important. Like we're creators.
I did 35 years in corporate creation, working as a creative director for agencies that serve great big companies. And then after my soul completely rotted away, I did something else.
Oh.
Yeah, it's different shooting for corporate versus doing a passion project. This was definitely a passion project. Anyone who doesn't know what a passion project is, that means you don't have no damn budget. Okay?
Right,
Yeah, that's what
basically.
Yeah.
that means. That's what that
Yeah.
means.
Yeah. Right. So, and also, like, this was a case of, career wise, I was the guy that told them, you shoot this, you edit that, but here we are literally doing everything: script, voiceover, shooting, editing, graphics, like everything. Our hands got dirty.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, and just
Yeah.
to keep people up to speed, we will be screening the movie right after this short introduction. If you have any questions right away, throw them in the chat. Also, support this film. You can super chat tonight, and it'll be in support of this film and the hard work that we're all doing to bring you the best content ever. Before we go another further, please introduce Miss Catherine, and then I have a question.
Yes, Miss Catherine. I met Catherine about a year or two ago through I do speaking gigs and things like that. And one of the relationships that I've built is with GMHC, the Evolution Group, which Catherine is over. And the Evolution Group deals with trans women. And I have had an honor with building that relationship with not only Catherine, but the ladies of the group. And I get to see them several times throughout the year, and every single time is a pleasure. And I'm pretty sure some of them are going to be on here. So, Catherine, could you explain what you do with GMHC?
Yes. Um, Hello, welcome. At GMAC, I facilitate a group for transgender, gender nonconforming, and non-binary. And facilitate means, I guess, to be a bit of a leader in thought. I love the position because we grow together in this space in which people evolve and learn. And it's such a pleasure when we can host Lily, share her story and her transformation, which is just a phenomenal inspiration.
Thank you. Thank you. And before we go further, I want to remind everyone who's watching live and who will be watching the playback that we are live here every night except Sunday. Don't come looking for us on Sunday. We are live 6 nights a week here on the block with Jen. We cover every topic that you can think of. So the premise of this show, picture you in New York City. We on the block, we on the stoop, we talking mess. Sometimes the mess is philosophical. Sometimes you're gonna rag on your shoes. Sometimes your feelings gonna get hurt. Sometimes you're gonna laugh. That's exactly what it's like on the block. 6 nights a week. You can catch us here. I think we're gonna start coming up at 9 o'clock.
Yeah,
Since it's
9 o'clock
summertime.
for the summer hours, 9 p.m. Eastern.
Yes, 9 p.m. Eastern. So definitely come back after today because it is a show where we welcome all points of view, all opinions. People who are welcome to identify any way they are that they want to identify on this panel. We want you to be you. And now listen, that don't mean she's not gonna get no pushback, okay?
Right.
But that don't mean that we're not gonna get no pushback, because that's the thing. We allow our audience to push back on our talking points as well. It's
Hmm.
not an echo chamber on this show. This is a show where it's real freedom of speech, right? As long as it's not gonna get us banned and blocked from YouTube. All
Right.
right. So with that being said, I think we might be ready to go ahead and show the film. Are we? Oh my God, let's see it.
Before I do have a question before we screen the film. I'm excited. I'm excited. But tell the people this baby, when was it birthed? Why was it birthed?
Oh God.
Why?
David, you want to take that? I'll follow because this is a lot.
Sure. So I was like in a kind of came up in a queer community in the original ballroom generation, and even before I identified as queer, I was a late bloomer. And
Okay.
so you know, that's just always been my family. And then this statistic, you know, came out that has been sadly updated. We were saying that the life expectancy of a Black trans woman in the United States is 35 years old, and that's not a
Wow.
number I think any of us can you know cope with. And if we can do anything to push the needle in the other direction, let's do it. You know, I'm all in. And then just to backtrack a little bit more, it was Lili and I just meeting. We were on the way to fittings for the same runway show. I
Mm-hmm.
come up out of the subway and she's standing lost because it's the financial district and you can't navigate there. And I know I'm about to get lost. And I'm like, this is a star standing in front of me. I don't know who she
Oh.
is, but all I know is she's a star. So that's how we linked. We connected over coffee. We, you know, we connected over that show and over that runway show and everything like that. So this opportunity just kind of, you know, appeared through the universe. The pandemic hit, so I was on furlough from my job,
Mm-hmm.
and I had a new gadget to play with, a little gimbal for my iPhone,
Mm-hmm.
and I had just dropped $1,000 on a new iPhone. I was like, this thing's gonna make me some money.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So you know, so I pitched it to Lili and I said, look, let's get the word out there. And really, you know, the intention was to make a series of 3, and that intention still lives. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
So you know, we certainly encourage hearing other stories and everything like that, because it was a great and cathartic experience, and like one of the biggest sort of emotional rugby matches I've ever had.
Wow.
I love Lili. Everybody loves Lili, and it's like she's acting her ass off, and I'm like, "Are you dead?" How many times did I ask you if? How many times was it like, "Cut? Are you okay?" Like,
No,
and she
yeah.
was fine. She was just acting her ass off. That was what was happening.
Nice. Okay. So I think we are ready. Thank you so much for the super chat, Brian Marsh. So hang tight, guys. I know you guys have questions. If you're more comfortable, I know there are a lot of people backstage. If you're more comfortable watching it, just going to On the Block with Jen on YouTube and watching it there. If you're more comfortable there, do that. If you're comfortable watching from backstage, that's cool too. But we're not going to bring anyone up till later. Yeah, Lily.
And we won't be able to see your chats if you're backstage. So if you're chatting, you just chatting away. I'm not going to see it because I'm.
Oh, thank you, David. Make sure you have your tissues. It is a tear jerker. So make sure you have your tissues. All right, everyone, pay attention because this is a short film. Okay, so you may miss something. We're not going to be here for an hour, hour and a half. It's a short film. So I want everyone, let me get a thumbs up in the chat if you guys are ready. Hope you got your little popcorns, your little drinks. Everybody ready? Are we ready? And I will spin it. Okay. Everybody mute your mics. Thank you. Okay. Okay, great. The chat is ready. All right, Lili, here we go. And I'm going to drop us while it's playing so the film could play on full screen. Okay. I'll just drop us down so the audience could get a full screen.
In order for you to understand how I got here, I have to tell you how my journey began. I always knew I was different. So did everyone else around me. My family, the kids in the neighborhood, even strangers saw it. But rather than show an ounce of compassion for the boy who didn't fit in, they let their feelings be known.
Give me that damn doll. Dolls are for girls. You're a sissy. Who's playing with that doll? You don't like sports?
Why can't you be more like your brother?
I heard every hurtful word. Too young to know the price I would pay for the damage others did to my self-worth. Or to understand that this was abuse.
You've been going to mama's closet.
He's just confused. Take my heels off. You're embarrassing. What are you, gay or something? You a faggot?
Hey, money going out. I'm gonna die.
Bitch boy. You wanna be a bitch boy? That's just nasty.
I wish I could say I grew out of it. But as I grew older, the torment only got worse. It wasn't until I was an adult that I found something I can do about it. And in the privacy of my own home, I found lots of ways to take the pain away. I gave every one of them my full attention. They took my pain away and seemed to silence the haunting voices I heard. Every time I closed my eyes, it wasn't long before I no longer cared about things like privacy, dignity, because the voices were replaced by the howl of a monster that pushed me to the depths I never thought I'd see. Alone on the street, chasing a higher high every day, like it was my job. And that was my first overdose. It would take 5 more and 2 cardiac arrests for me to finally realize enough was enough. Both detox and rehab taught me that drugs were just a symptom of a bigger issue. Or in my case, issues. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And he did. While we never specifically talked about my sexuality and identity, my dad, a strong, streetwise, masculine Black man, never once treated me harshly or said an unkind word to me. His love was one of many guiding lights in my journey to loving myself. I learned to control every aspect of myself so as not to reveal the real me. My walk, my talk, my look, my clothes were all a lie that I lived in every day while rejecting anyone I saw living comfortably in their own skin. How could they be stronger than me? Why did I hate their freedom so much? It was jealousy, and I fear the long, hard road to my liberation. Shedding my disguise was a process, and it meant opening up to people that I once ridiculed. A simple bond over music led to a life-changing friendship with someone who exposed the root of my pain. 27 years of hating that person I saw in the mirror. You already know, I wasn't raised to accept myself. But thanks to this moment, I spent the next 10 years learning to do just that, starting from the inside. And when the time was right and I was feeling myself on the inside, I knew just who to see for a little work on the outside. And to think, I already thought my skinny jeans, tee, and sneakers were risque enough. Freedom isn't free. I traded a life of drugs and fear for living out loud with no regrets. It took a lot to get here. And while I still occasionally hear voices trying to tear me down, they are drowned out by voices of encouragement and respect. Too many to count. I earned that. My journey continues. Every day is a new chapter where I engage deeper in life, grow my career, and help out people around me. And every night, as I go to bed, I spend a moment with a certain someone. I tell him that he is beautiful. I tell him that he is special. And I tell him how much I love him.
Woo! Woo! Oh, sorry about that. Oh, sorry about that. Let me stop.
What's the
This is
disagree?
not. This is
I
not.
just have a question. I wanted to know.
We're gonna
Wait
talk
a
to
minute.
we're gonna talk to Kevin Samuel tonight.
We are not. We are not. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that, guys. Oh, oh my God. Why is this happening? Why is this happening? Okay. Okay, guys. Whoa. All right. First of all, let me just say these are G tears. All right. I'm up with G. And every now and then, my eyes, they sweat because my G is that strong.
And that
Okay.
that sweat hits the desk with bass.
It does. It does. Wow, Lili. Oh my God. We love you so much. The journey is amazing. I'm kind of at a loss for words, which is rare, right? Um,
How'd you like
that
that
was,
transformation?
oh my God, that was absolutely beautiful. First of all, David, was this your first film?
First film where doing literally everything but acting? Yes. Like
Wow.
producing video, corporate video and stuff with a big crew and a team. Yes, but this was my first time, like soup
Wow.
to nuts.
Well,
We didn't know what we were
listen,
doing.
Lili, we are grateful for you being on the planet, but also that you were brave enough to tell this story. It's going to help so many people. I got a lot of questions, but do you guys want to say anything before we get into our Q&A?
Yes, I do. I want to shout out everyone who was a part of that film, because even though it was David and I on the crew, there were people who lend a hand, whether it was their voice or their face or whatever. Everyone, my bestie played himself, so shout out, and he's in the chat
And
somewhere.
they're
And
all ascending right now. They're all ascending. Like Brandon's hitting runways and recording
Nice.
music, and Aries is hosting and modeling his ass off and about to debut a video. It's really awesome. We had a great team.
yes,
Nice.
We have
everyone's
good
doing so
friends.
well. Yes, I've built relationships with I'm looking at everyone, and some of the people I just recently met at the time. This was at the beginning of 2020, and so I'm just like, wow, I got relationships with everybody in that film now. And what's most special, um, and David could attest to this, was the young boy that played me, Devin.
Oh my God, you just broke my heart in a million pieces. I was like, no, not the
Oh,
baby.
oh my
Yeah.
God. So okay, so this is a little behind the scenes information that goes perfectly with the story, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Finding a parent that will allow their son to play a young trans
Oh,
person.
please talk about that. Guys, if you this is a Q&A portion of the screening, so throw your questions into the chat, please.
Yeah, that was difficult. Because as we know, where's our race bell? Do we have a race bell?
We do have a we need the race bell,
You
Lily.
have a race bell?
We need the race bell.
Oh,
Oh,
We need the
uh-oh.
race bell. Because as we know, in
Uh-oh.
in the black
ah,
community, homophobia, transphobia is very real and very prevalent.
Let's talk about it.
So there was not a bunch of parents that were jumping at the joy of allowing their son to play a young me. But Deasia is his mother, and when I called her after calling the whole Yellow Pages, I had to go dig
Mm-hmm.
up the Yellow Pages. Like that's how bad it got, y'all.
that's I have to go
Right?
back in time to find
Mm-hmm.
Yellow
Right.
Pages.
So after calling her, she jumped at it, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so I
Oh,
am
poor
so, and I
Leo.
actually just talked to her yesterday. So like that's awesome. So I am very honored that for every single person that lent everything to this film, because it wouldn't have happened without any of them. But that right there, just finding a young me was a testament to why we have to make this film. And the transphobia, the homophobia, the misconceptions. There's so many misconceptions, and I invite anyone to ask any question that you want to ask, because this is the time to do it. I'm an open book. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not sensitive, and I can tell when someone's genuinely asking a question because they just don't know
Mm-hmm.
versus being an asshole, right?
Okay.
So I definitely open questions tonight.
Okay. Well, the chat is absolutely loving the film. I mean, short films, it's not easy to tell that much of a story in a couple minutes. That takes skill, that takes talent, that takes good writing. So listen, salute. I'm a writer as well. I'm an actress as well. So salute. I know how hard it is. And you guys told, you know what I mean, a whole lifetime of a movie and an experience in a few minutes. That's amazing. I've watched a lot of short films and sometimes they don't hit the mark and you kind of like, it leaves you like, well, what happens next? You guys were able to, you know what I mean? Just translate that. Lili, did you write the film? What you
They,
were narrating?
I shared the story with David.
Mm-hmm.
David wrote it, brought it to me. We cleaned it up, and then we went ahead and recorded from there. Yeah,
And
I'm more of a speaker.
how long did you take to shoot? How long a shoot was it?
It was about 3 weeks to a month total.
I mean, production time was, but actually shooting, like how many shoot days did we have? We had
Yeah.
2
Yeah, 2, maybe 3 at the most. It
indoor outdoor
wasn't.
scenes.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
What?
were a powerhouse. We
So
were
did you have like 12-hour shoot days or what was the daily like?
yeah, they were long. They were long.
Yeah.
I know if you did 3 days, I knew you guys were working. I know you
Yeah,
guys
Yeah.
were working.
Yeah.
they
And
were
then
long.
editing,
Yeah.
editing's like 100 times longer than shooting. So,
Mm,
whoo, it was marathon after marathon. So,
yeah.
And
and then
David did
then we had
all
to
of the
go in and
editing.
do voiceover, and that some of that is sort of by design, being able to tell the story in a separate voice track, so it eliminates a lot of audio complication, right?
Mm,
In the shooting end of the
absolutely.
production, but it
Smart.
also you get her words. You know what I mean? And you get the story straight from her lips, and that's what we need to hear. And it hit.
I
And
mean,
then
Yeah.
it did hit. It's so beautifully done that you forget that you're not hearing the actors speak.
yeah,
Like it just the way it meshes was beautiful, I thought.
that's really great to hear. Thank you.
I see a
Absolutely.
question that I kind of thought was going to kind of come up, and I want to answer that.
Okay.
Um,
Thank you for the super chat, Don Levon, and for supporting the film. Thank you so much. Um, a question, Lili. Is it Creating Anarchy or Lady Couture?
both of them. It's either you can pull either
Okay.
question up because it's pretty much the same.
Okay, so Creating Anarchy podcast. How are you, lovely ladies? Was playing your old self triggering at all? I was thinking that as well. It's not
Yeah, I knew
easy.
that. Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. Wow. That's a.
Really, you were supposed to have like emotional support team on there when you did that, and you didn't have a team.
OG.
Right. Like, I really should have. Looking back,
Yes.
I didn't think it was. I didn't think it was going to. I didn't even think I was as affected as I was.
Okay.
Right. So it took me. I think from the time we said we were going to, or we came up with the idea. I said, David, give me a couple of weeks to like really get see if this is what I need to be doing because I already knew if I was going to do it. I was going to do it. Jen, like I commit once So I
Yeah.
was like, okay, what's going to be the most effective way? And I was like, well, am I going to have 2 people play me or blah, blah? And then I was like,
Yeah.
okay, no. And I was like, I guess the only way to do it is to transition backwards. I'm like,
Oh my God.
and I'm like, do people do that? I don't think anyone does that. That I would not advise towards it.
Right.
And I'm saying that this is coming from somebody who's done a lot of healing work, and I'm not really
Mm-hmm.
triggered behind that stuff. I'm really not.
Mm-hmm.
And but I will say I did have to go to therapy a little bit afterwards.
I can imagine.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but I
You were
think I
also surrounded by love, though. Like Orlando was there and everything like that.
right.
So there was a lot of you weren't shooting with strangers, as
Excellent.
so often
Yeah.
happens. And yeah,
It was
um,
afterwards. It
yeah,
wasn't on set. I was good.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
We were
And it
laughing
hit
at the
you.
neighbors, when we had to shoot
That
outside.
when we went to the
That
Mm-hmm.
was funny.
bodega, we were at the
What?
bodega. You're like,
I think I sent them to therapy because they were just like, "What's going on here?
Oh,
Who are you?"
wow.
yeah,
You know?
yeah. And remember, also we were prop shopping.
Oh, the prop shopping for the crack pipe.
Yes.
Oh my
That was a
goodness.
lot of fun. Yes, I had to go to my local bodega and like, hey guys, listen, I
So
don't smoke crack. Okay. Let's just establish that. All right. But what I do need is a crack pipe.
Right. Lily, I understand. I told you I played a Colombian drug lord who
oh
did
my
coke,
God.
and I'm in the smoke shop. Like, I don't do coke. Not that I think coke is a bad thing, but I need a coke chain and a coke
Yeah,
spoon.
me too.
I mean, if you do coke, it's okay. I need it. I mean, I don't do it, but I need it. But I don't do coke. It was I
It look
understand.
it
Yeah,
looked
not to
just
be
like that.
judgy or anything,
Right. I'm
but
not
Yes,
like
yeah,
I'm not coke shaming. I just need it.
right. Not coaching.
that's literally how it looked. But then remember we had to get the needle too.
Oh
Yeah,
my
That was
goodness.
that
we
was
Not
were
a
like
even better.
all over the
syringe.
neighborhood shopping for drug paraphernalia. That's
Yes.
really, really in the
Oh, that's
kindest way
hilarious.
possible. Yeah.
Oh,
That's
it was the
hilarious.
best. Oh my
Yep.
God. That yeah, the behind the scenes, we should have filmed the behind the scenes
And
because
we had to take out a loan to buy a pack of cigarettes. I'm glad I don't smoke anymore. Good God.
Oh my god. I know, what is it, like $15 now?
I don't, ridiculous.
17.
Oh,
17.
$17.
17. I'm late. Ooh.
Yeah. And
I
then
would
and then
smoke
it was
so
a
slowly.
and do you
Just
remember
save it.
David when we shot that first scene where I'm dressed up as the old me, and
Hmm.
my bestie was there for us shooting that scene, and I remember that. I think that was like the first scene we shot, or one of the first. No, it was, I don't know, but my bestie was there for that one, and he was like, hold on. You're giving me Lili. You look like the old you, but you're
Yes.
giving me
Yeah,
Lili.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You are not that free because my best friend met me, the old person. And
Oh, that was
my
okay, great.
my bestie was like, you weren't that free. Like you're free like Lily. That's not the person I met. You got to go back into it. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh damn, he's right. Because
I
Yeah.
think, and I think you were solidly in that prior self in the park bench scene when the out and proud gay comes and sits next to you. That was just
Yeah.
oh
incredible.
I mean,
Incredibly.
I loved watching the contrast. Like the words were married so beautifully with the action, which is why I said you forget that you're not listening to the actors speak. But the contrast was beautiful because it literally looked like opposites. Looked like opposites on the bench.
Pitted
Right?
against each other.
Yeah.
and that was real. I used to be very homophobic.
Yeah.
Very
Oh,
homophobic, very transphobic.
but I want to get into that, but really quickly because I love teaching. So you guys, I can imagine, had no permits. So you were guerrilla filming outside.
Mm. No
That's
Guerrilla
how we do.
what?
tripod.
That's how
No
we do
tripod. Yeah, exactly.
it. That's how
Ask
we do it.
for forgiveness, not permission.
There
Right.
you go.
Mhm.
Hey, gotta do what we gotta do. Um, Lili, please talk about that because that's something that I noticed and I see a lot of where people really hate a thing, but they hate it because they are that thing that is a thing. We
That's
see
so
that a
real.
lot. And there's a lot of heat and vitriol. And I'm like, there's no way this subject is triggering you that bad. And not only LGBTQ, but other things, right?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
there has to be something else behind that veil of hate, right?
Mm.
Whether it's race or sexual orientation or identity. Lily, talk about that. You were one of those people. You were on
Oh,
the other side.
yeah. I mean, this is the thing. When you hear, and like going back to the black community being very homophobic, transphobic, and things like that, these are things we hear in the household, you know. These are things we hear in the household.
Mhm.
So if you're hearing that about other people, but you are those other people, then
Yeah.
that is going to create a level of self-hate. So
Yeah.
I up until I met my best friend,
Mhm.
I was homophobic, I was transphobic, and I didn't want to, I would never have sat that close on a bench next to someone who looks the way I look today.
What?
Because I felt like it was going to shine too much light in my direction. I'm trying to hide, and here your ass comes sitting on the
Oh,
bench
that's
with your
deep.
loud, bright, you know, bringing attention over here. And so that is one of the biggest reasons why
Mhm.
I do not get upset at homophobia and transphobia.
'Cause you know what it is.
I know what it is, and I'm not. Let me be really clear. I'm not saying that 100% of the time it's because someone is struggling with being LGBTQ in some spectrum. What
Mm.
I'm saying is there's
Yeah,
something
there's
there
something there.
because it wouldn't ignite that much passion, right? It just wouldn't. And my dad and my brother, they've always been huge supporters of me, and I love how they are. They're just like, I don't have a dog in the fight. It doesn't affect me. I don't care. Like,
Great. Nice to
I'm
hear.
I'm not thinking about it, and they don't
Mm.
understand why people even think about it that much, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, like that was really big. And so I remember after getting clean, that was one of the first things that was addressed, but it wasn't the first addressed by me. It was addressed when I was at rehab, and the guys in rehab was like, you think you're homophobic? By this time I was out the closet as a gay man.
Mhm.
Very uncomfortable with it though. But we would have to get very raw and graphic in the groups and stuff. And they're like, we think you're homophobic. And I
Wow.
was like,
Mm.
hmm. And and I was able to see that I was. And then a week later, this tall ass queen comes swooping through. And who knew that was going to be my best friend all these many years
Oh,
later?
wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
There is another question. Did filming locally in Brooklyn add any ease to the project?
hmm For
I
me, I
mean,
mean,
it was a like 5 block radius, everything, right?
mhm. Yeah,
Wow. Okay.
Roughly.
yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
And it was during the pandemic, so there were not a lot of people outside getting in the
Right.
shot.
Right,
Okay.
Yep.
right,
That was true. Yeah.
right. Because like that subway scene was like rush hour when I'm coming off the subway.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh
What?
God. That.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, that
right.
was
It
during
was.
right.
Yep. And then we remember I had to go back and shoot the train arrival
yep. On another
because it
day.
got messed up on another day. But one other funny BTS was the one eyelash. There's that scene where she's from behind and Brandon's getting ready to put the makeup on. Lili was still in the previous life makeup. So we're like, we
Okay.
can't take that off because we have to shoot another scene in it. So she sticks just one eyelash on
On
and we
this
film
side.
the profile so you can just see that little eyelash.
Smart. That is how you
Sorry.
do it. That's the magic. That's
A
the
little
magic
movie
behind the
magic.
magic.
Oh, and then the part about what the other BTS did that was good too is that scene, that last scene that is everybody's favorite scene, was not written into the script.
Hmm.
When
No,
I'm when I
no.
when I go back and oh my God, when I address my younger self and then I hug him, that wasn't originally there. And we added that, and we had already sent him home. So that hug, he wasn't even there.
Hmm.
Like it's a little things
Yep.
like that. It's like, wow.
It was
That was
wild.
beautiful. That's what really got me. I said, not the baby. Go help the baby. Go.
By the way, I'm such a scandalously bad queer, not wearing any pride colors. I just switched my lighting, so I'm not. I'm trans lighting, trans
I
Translating.
did.
lights
I saw
now.
the light change. I like it. I like it. I did see
Thank
the
you.
light
Thank you
change.
very much. Thank
What
you.
camera did you use? Curious. What camera?
An iPhone.
iPhone 10XS, a dinosaur. This is the same one that we shot it on.
Listen. This is what I tell people. You guys are a freaking testament. Where there's a will, there's a way. I keep saying that we are the change that we keep asking for. It is us. It is us. That's amazing. An
hmm
iPhone. You guys had no lighting, and well, you didn't have sound because you weren't.
We
You guys,
had we
actors, weren't
had
talking.
every ring light. Oh no, you had small. You had some studio
hmm
lights. Like the
Yeah, I
indoor
had
Okay.
studio
scenes, we
lights.
had a little bit of lighting. We had
Okay.
an extension cord coming from the kitchen into the power plug in the living
I love
room, and then
it.
the 6 plug thing in the dining room. Don't trip over that. And
I love it. I love
hope
it.
no one calls me. We're shooting. Yeah, all
Right.
of that.
Um,
Hmm.
Haran, I would like to bring Haran up though, because I want
Yes.
to ask him. He's a very masculine Black man. And I do want to get into the story about your father is profound. Okay. You made a note of masculine Black man. A masculine Black man, yes, I'm going to throw out some stereotypes, very rarely, if ever, accepting of the LGBTQ. Not only are they not accepting, and here for all of you that are they're gonna email me later. There you go. Make you feel comfy. Okay. So we got a lot of tricks here, David, because let me tell you, this feedback we get, the feedback we get.
So here.
So
So here.
okay. So, you know, very rare, far and few in between, Black masculine men are very adamant about keep that gay shit away from me. They act like it's contagious. It's like they have to be extra masculine, right? Sometimes they act like it's a disease you can catch. It's very interesting to watch unfold, right? When these conversations come up. So on that note, I want to bring up a very masculine Black man, just like Lili's daddy. Haranza Marco, how are you, sir? No pressure, no pressure.
I just got.
Your sound is being gay right now. Your sound is so gay.
Why is your sound like being transphobic too? Like, this is crazy.
Oh my goodness, that was funny.
I can't take it.
Can you hear me now?
Can't. Oh, yeah, we can.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
All right. Cool. Awesome.
We can hear you. First, let's address your question before we get into the masculinity thing. Haran asked earlier, how was the first day of your transition into the world, Lili, when you stepped forth as Lili? How did you feel? What were the responses? How did you feel?
Oh, that's a loaded question.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really loaded question because I did not transition here in New York, where it's a lot different. I transitioned down south and I transitioned in Atlanta. And this is a very educational moment right here that I'm about to hand to you on a platter, right? Because the first thing that people are going to say when I share with them how difficult the early days were in Atlanta, they're always like, well, Atlanta is such a gay city. I'm like, no, Atlanta is a homosexual city, which means there's a lot of people fucking, but you're dealing with a lot of people who are like me or how I was back in the day, meaning they're doing the act, but they ain't happy about it. Right. They're not like sitting there like, this is who I am. And, so it was very difficult, but it was very slow. It was piece by piece by piece, little by little by little. And I see my best friend is charming in it because they were there for the whole thing. And it was hard. It was very hard because I didn't throw on a wig. So I kept my bald head. There was nobody walking around Atlanta looking like me. And you see how I be outside in New York. I was just like that in Atlanta. I was outside. I was in them streets. And I was mocked every day, laughed at all day, pointed at all day, made an example of all day. This was every day. This was all day. Right. But this is the thing for me. Y'all see where I came from prior to the transition. So if that didn't kill me, there was nothing anybody's words could do for me, right? So I had two choices.
Right.
I had two choices. I either allow those people to give them my power, right, by allowing them to affect me, or I keep my power because I don't know them. I don't know them. They do nothing for me. So my thing is, that's when I developed a rule. Just don't make me feel threatened because I will fuck you up. Just don't make me feel threatened. You can talk about me, you can laugh, you can point, you can do that. You can do all of those things. Just don't come into my space and we good. Right.
Sounds fair to me.
That's when I took my power back. And I decided nobody was gonna be able to hurt me from that point on. And then things changed. I moved here, no one cared. And then I was like, hold on, y'all don't want to look at me? So what? Y'all don't see me. Y'all don't see me. Nobody want to laugh, you know.
Yeah.
But I do want to ask Catherine that same question. Catherine,
Can she hear?
oh, you're on
I
mute,
think she's
babe.
muted. You're muted,
Catherine,
ma'am.
unmute your mic. Unmute your mic.
Can you repeat the question?
What was the first, like, what was it like the beginning of transitioning? Like,
Um, it was a very awkward time. Um, I didn't know any trans people. I just loved makeup. I felt very estranged. It was a very creative period. It was a very sad period. I remember when I did meet my first trans people, I was like, oh, it was definitely like a refuge to know that there were other people like me that existed and I didn't feel so all alone. So that was
wow,
really liberating.
wow.
And that's why, it's really good to facilitate a group because there are people outside of this country that come in and they have no context. They really never heard of the word trans or non-binary. It's completely new. So it's like a whole new world. And we're at such a weird period that people are really trying to turn time back to destructive times. So it's a very special place to be now.
Right, right. Yeah, we're dealing
Thank
with a
you.
lot of anti-trans laws right now, but we're going to talk more about that as the stream goes on.
Yeah, Lily, your daddy. I can't
Yep.
even imagine a black masculine man being accepting, being loving. Tell us about your dad.
So my dad is everything. He's like the dad to my friends as well. So like if any of my friends who don't feel like they're accepted, he's like, okay, well I guess I got another kid, right? He's real matter of
I'm that
fact.
parent.
Yeah, he's so matter of fact. He's the coolest person ever. But this is what I will say. Um, like you said in the movie, we never really discussed it growing up, and then one day we did, and I was just like, how is this going to go? Because it was always an elephant in the room. He never
Mm-hmm.
treated me bad. He never made an issue out of it, but it just wasn't discussed. So it wasn't like it was a comfortable conversation to have.
Mm-hmm.
But this is what he said to me. He said, I've always known who you were, and he says, I want to have this conversation because it's clear. And then, mind you, this is before I transition. He said,
Mm-hmm.
it's very clear to me that you're uncomfortable in your skin. So, and I just moved to Atlanta. He said, I don't want you coming down here thinking that you can't be yourself.
Wow.
He said, so that's why he wanted to have the conversation with me. So then he took me through his experience with being a masculine black father from the hood. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
My
Mm-hmm.
father straight out the streets. And he said, he says, I wasn't always okay with it. I always knew who you were, but I wasn't always okay with it. And he said, and then a couple of family members, approached him and was like, hey, and he was like, what do you mean? And they're like, come on now. Right. So he said it was affecting his ego. So then he checked himself and said, well, what is my real issue? So he went down
Mm-hmm.
the list of his issues and he realized that none of his issues had to do anything with me and had to do everything with his ego and how he would be perceived as a masculine black man. Um, and um, so then he said from there, that's when he decided, then that's when it hit him like, oh, wow, my child is going to have it difficult. This was the 80s. He said, my
Right.
child's not going to have an easy life. So I don't need to add to that. And so he made it a conscious decision not to add to my pain. Um, that was
That's
it.
a beautiful thing because it's more than likely not going to be that way, right? Men are going to be disappointed. It's going to be a blow to their ego. What did I do wrong? It's like what are people going to think? And we spoke about that before when we were talking about parenting. How it's like every failure your child has is sort of like it's a blow to you. It's like that's a whole individual, it's a whole spirit, it's a whole other thing outside of who you are. And sometimes as parents we get caught up in that, like, no, if you fail that means I failed, right? So it's a beautiful thing, and parents have to realize that it's not a mini me, it's not a clone of you. The child came through you. It's not you. It's not you again, right? Haran, how are you?
Yes. Hey.
Hey, I wanted to ask you a question, and I know we all New York up in here, so we always keep it a hundo, okay? What did you think about trans women or non-binary before you joined us and started camming up and stuff? And what did you learn from Lili as a very masculine Black man? How did
Jamaican.
Jamaican
I,
at that?
absolutely.
How did you really feel? How did you really feel?
How I really felt, I was like, I can't understand this shit, man. I don't even like
Mm-hmm.
wearing. I don't understand. You know what I mean? Someone who actually wants to be a woman, or you know what I mean, their energy, or intellectually they're a woman, and I couldn't wrap my head around it. I just could not wrap my head around it. And
Mm-hmm.
I guess when I met Lili,
Mm-hmm.
for me, it began to humanize the idea of it, you know. And when I say that it began to humanize the idea of it, I was able to ask her a number of questions, because I asked Lili a ton of questions
Oh,
because I
you
just
ask
didn't know.
everybody a ton of questions, Sarah.
Yeah, I did, but I really didn't ask her questions, because you know me, if I don't know shit, I just need to know. And she
Yes.
told me
Right.
stuff and a bunch of things about the politics and what they go, you know what I mean, what they go through. Everyone in the LGBTQ community goes through, and sitting to myself like, shit, man, this shit sounds harder than just being Black. Like this sounds like a lot of shit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And there was certain things that I had no clue about. And but
That's
for
going to
me,
drive people crazy in the comments, by the way, what you just said. It's going to drive people crazy. And harder than being Black. It's good, but continue. I love it.
yeah, but, you know what I mean? Like, come on, guys. I mean, Lili's gonna have it harder than me. Let's just stop it. Okay,
Mhm.
stop it. Get over yourself
Well,
for
you know, we're
5 minutes.
in the Impression Olympics now, Haran. So, you know.
Mm. And you know, anyway, the point of the matter is this: especially coming from my world of
Mhm.
of my West Indian Jamaican world, I was raised by an old school West Indian family
Mhm.
of very transphobic, hyper masculine culture,
Mhm.
but there was never a time in my life, even as a child, I said to myself, because in our culture, it is believed that, homosexuals and, people in that community should be killed, unalived, we'll say. The
Mhm.
concept of that is that even as a child, I said to myself that makes no sense. That's not right.
I mean, it's
Because
even in the
from my
music.
perspective,
Like yeah, it's even in the music. I used to sing stuff and I was like, is that what that means? Like I found out older, right? I was like,
We used to
holy,
sing
like,
to that in the gay club. They'd have
mhm.
we would be dancing to songs about people killing us. Like
oh my.
crazy.
Yeah.
Well, Black people do it all
It
day
was
long.
that
So,
one
David.
song.
Huh? Yes.
And I'm like, yeah. And then I got older. I was like, they
Yes.
said what? They said what? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Um,
That was in your culture. I mean, I'd be a young kid, and I'd hear, the males talking about, gays and so on and so forth. And from my
jeez.
perspective, I always thought that Black people are the last people to say that somebody needs to die for being different. Because history tells us that there was a time when we were strung up and killed for being different and not being a part of, and not being seen as a part of the pure majority and so on and so forth. So just because we are given some sort of seat at the table, now it's cool to rag on somebody else who hasn't climbed up the ladder. It just didn't really feel well to me. But with that being said, still going forward, I had my own perceptions. I had no fucking clue of certain things. I just didn't know. You know what I mean? I saw, effeminate, gay men, and I'd just be like, ugh, I don't get that. I don't understand that. That's your thing. I don't get it.
Haran, hold on. Your connection is terrible and it's usually excellent. So something is wrong. I don't know if you have to go out and come back in, change the Wi-Fi or what, but it's pixelated. You're freezing.
I'll come back.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Come back. Cause it's not good. Oh, look at us. Aren't we a sight?
I can do this.
I kind of like that.
Well, hello, everyone. We are giving face, honey. We are giving
Right. Serve.
all the colors and everything. But we'll wait for Haran to come back. There is another question in the chat that I'll grab while we wait for Haran to come back.
There's a lot of good ones.
Yeah, Joseph White said, why did you decide to make it a short film? Why not at least 15, 30 minutes? Although 15, 30 minutes is also a short film. But
Right.
why didn't you decide to make it longer?
Oh, Lord.
And you guys can cam up now. You guys can totally cam up now. If you can add to this conversation or have questions, want to say it with your chest, you can cam up now.
I mean, it is, the longer the movie, the longer it takes to make. There's that, and we're both of us pushing through the pandemic. And in case you haven't noticed, I'm not on the Upper West Side. This is Queens. So, we, half of it is kind of like there's this attention span thing that you want to keep a video in a 5-minute range, especially when it's something experimental. I'd never done anything like this. So the challenge was to take this story, and this isn't even a quarter of your story, Lili. Lili's story, this is a slice of the Junior's cheesecake, right? So to make a compelling arc with those, those particular chapters and moments of her life, we just felt, not having the experience in filmmaking, let's make it short and sweet. And still a thing. Like there are, at film festivals, you'll see a 5-minute movie. I mean, it's a thing. So of course we would love someday to dig into something bigger.
Yes.
When we have the appropriate backing, and when I upgrade to an iPhone 15 in September.
Oh my goodness. You say again, Haran?
Am I good now?
Yeah, you're excellent.
You are good. Yes.
Cool.
Let me tell you are a beast with that iPhone. I'm afraid to see what comes next. You're doing like feature films, and we'll get CGI out of that iPhone from you.
Right. Just no AI. We don't do AI. That is
okay. Not yet. Not at all. What Tova says, what's the lyrics to the song? I forgot the name of the song. I know it's I remember the melody.
Oh, that
Boom Bye Bye.
The Boom Bye Bye? Is it Boom Bye Bye?
No, it's another one.
It's not Boom Bye Bye.
Yeah.
You're talking about another one, but I'm talking about Boom Bye Bye. There's also that. That was one of the main ones.
But I think that was the one that we were dancing to in the club.
Yeah, I was dancing to that one. That was the one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a jam.
So it was, but I immediately, when I heard it, being a young Jamaican child, I'm hearing this. I'm like, oh, okay, this is what this is. And then I'm hearing everyone else dance to it, and I'm seeing gays dance to it, and I'm like, you really don't know what this means, do you?
So because you're Jamaican, you knew right away what the lyrics were.
Exactly what it was.
Okay, we didn't know.
Yeah,
it was just like
I would tap people on the shoulder like, hey, you know what that means?
Wow.
Wow. I'm like, yeah.
What you say? What?
Exactly.
Oh.
Did you say shots? Someone say shots?
And people used to tell me that I was lying. And I'm like, oh, no, this is what it means. And then he got caught up in the controversy over it.
Yes, he did. I found out years later.
Yeah, everybody started realizing that, oh, he was saying that. I'm like, yeah.
Literally saying exactly that. Not even in code, like just straight saying that's what should happen. Joseph White says any oppressed group should be understanding of another group's oppression, not compete with it. Amen. Atheist, amen.
Right.
I just
Oh
want to say
yeah, I
something
forgot.
too. I just want to say something, me to piggyback and finish my point before Michael
Mhm.
went to Guatemala. Lili, you know what I mean? As I said earlier behind the scenes, it has been a pleasure and an honor to have met you and to learn about all of these things that you've gone through, things that, I think is just a sign of bravery, you know what I mean? And a sign of someone who, it takes a lot of guts to do what you do and to make that decision in your life. It takes a lot of guts to make any kind of decision in life that's literally life changing and, can alter how you feel about yourself, alter how, you interact with the world. It's tough. And, I'm growing every day with certain things in my life. There's certain things that I'm realizing that is really just my hyper masculine upbringing speaking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, it's not really as useful as I think it is. There's certain things I won't let go of though. You know what I mean? Because I know that's just, it's just embedded. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But going forward, I think we can at least agree, people can at least agree to say that a person is allowed to be who they are without, having to worry about being accosted, destroyed, and so on and so forth. People should be allowed to go out there and live their lives and be as miserable as everyone else, because we all have the right to be miserable. We all have the right to be happy. We all have the right to be human beings. That's where I am right now in my life.
Well, salute to you, sir, Mr. Black, very masculine. Man.
Haran, I feel what you're saying about, I mean, I've always been on the nail polish aside. It is called cream puff. But
I'm digging it. I peeped it. I'm digging it.
But that's the most masculine fucking cream puff you'll ever see right there.
That's right. Own it.
So masculine, I will fuck up these nails in 45 minutes. No. I won't. I paid for it. But I know what you mean. Like, a big part of male identity, whether you're gay or straight or somewhere in that spectrum, right? We have such a focus around our physical powers, and I'm, in particular talking about erections and orgasms. That is, that is the center of our universe. It is our temple, our shrine. It is like that awesome, incredible thing. And I'm just bringing it up because I had this light bulb moment, my light bulb moment, when I finally kind of understood trans was a trans woman who was in, my scene back in the day. And so I kind of pitched that to her. I said, look, this is a knuckle dragging caveman kind of question, but you came up a boy, you went through your own sexual discovery, and, I'm trying to delicately say you played with yourself and all that, you jacked off and everything. And, that is just so excellent to us, like that is such a unbelievable focal point of our existence. And her reply still rings in my ears. She said, what you don't understand, David, is that all of those feelings, all of those actions, everything you're talking about is what I hate about myself.
Oh my. Interesting.
That's like all the air left.
This is my connection.
What's that?
No, it went choppy for just a couple seconds.
Yeah, just repeat that last sentence, David, so just in case they missed it.
All of those things that you're talking about, all of those physicalities and feelings are all of the things that I hate about myself. And
that's deep.
It just pulled all the air out of the room, because it took me thinking the opposite of everything that I physically love about my anatomy and what it does, and be like, imagine hating that.
Right.
God damn. That is like one of the biggest things I've ever heard, right?
Right.
And it
Yeah.
really, really made me understand in that instant. Okay. Now I think I can get my head around this.
Mhm.
Like just reverse my thinking on this thing that controls my life.
But that's funny because my bestie and I, we did a TikTok video that went viral. Still one of
Mhm.
my favorite ones. I don't know if you remember this one, Jen, but
Which one?
it was called The Misconceptions of Being LGBTQ. And I asked my bestie in the video, I said, so what do you think the biggest, or no, he asked me what was the biggest misconceptions of being LGBTQ. And I said, and it is like me just like playing on my phone. And I was like, oh, all we want to do is have sex. Like everything is sex. We only do sex. That's it. Like we don't eat. We don't go to the library. We have no clothes to
You
wash.
just have sex.
Just sex. That's it.
Just
Yeah.
sex.
Only sex. That's it. So, a lot of people do reduce us to sex.
Mm.
We did invent the hottest sex there is, but let's
I
just
mean,
let's
just
just
saying.
This is where I mind my business and be quiet, right? This is where I let the panelists do them, like the Star
watch
Report
those
tells
comments
me.
light up. Right.
Right.
This is Star always tells me, Jen, you don't have to have the last word. They're your guest. I hear you, Star. I hear you, Star.
Like, I got nothing either. Like I got nothing. Okay. All right.
Joseph White asks, in light of the Don't Say Gay legislation in Florida, how important is it that the LGBTQ experience be taught in schools? And would it have helped you when you were younger? That's a spicy question.
Yeah, he came out to pow.
Yeah, that's a spicy question.
Hmm.
What say you?
I'm very controversial now, so
Okay.
everyone's not gonna agree with me on this, but I don't care.
I got you, Lily. I got you,
Right.
Lily.
I don't care. So
I want a
and
sign.
oh, we gotta get you a sign, David. I'll ride one over there to you. Um,
How about a
okay,
Con
so
Ed shut off notice? I can
There
waive
you
it.
go. There you
that always
go.
works. That always works.
Oh, love it.
There you
Sorry.
go.
Sorry to interrupt.
um, so, but it's not the answer's probably not gonna be what people expect. But this is the thing. I personally am careful when it comes to discussing sex, period, with people's children that aren't theirs. That's me. I don't care if it's LGBTQ or hetero.
Mhm.
That's just me. I feel like that is the responsibility of the parents. But I know a lot of people want to just hyper focusing on us, like we're ruining the kids' body. And it's like, no, it's just sex, and children shouldn't go in the same sentence, in my opinion. Okay, so that has nothing to do with LGBTQ, in my opinion. Okay, um, but I feel like people use that because we're easy targets. We're really easy targets because they've been doing
Mhm.
sex ed for a long time. Now, there is a way to teach about just being a good damn human being and not being a damn bully to
Mhm.
people, right?
Mhm.
Just because they want to wear cream puff nail polish to school or
Mhm.
things like that. Because that's not, you can discuss that without discussing sex, right? You can
Well,
discuss,
you can discuss sexuality without being sex. You're just talking
right.
about sex. It's just about the fact that there are men who love men, women who love women, and people who don't want to identify as either, loving people who want to identify as both. You know what I mean? And there's men and women.
Yeah, it's simple. It's real
Big
simple.
big fucking deal.
So,
Just like your father said, it doesn't affect anyone outside of the relationship. It's just it astonishing that that I mean, I think DeSantis is a sociopath, and that everything that he's doing to tear down everyone who isn't a Christian white male, or the wife, the good wife that supports him.
mhm.
um that's he just wants to tear all the rest of us down, and it's scandalous.
Yeah.
It's
Hmm.
criminal.
I do want to say one thing. If my son my daughter came out as either gay or trans, they wanted to transition, that would be tough for me.
Mhm.
If they called me up, said this to me, and so on, that would be tough for me. And I wouldn't disown my kid, but I probably would tell my kid, to be honest with you, I probably would tell my kid, okay, I need a minute to process this and digest this.
Mhm.
To totally honest, I'm not going to sit up here and
Yeah.
pander and be like, oh no, I'm going to look, listen, Jen knows, I am a pretty masculine and misogynistic fucking guy. So if my kid calls me up and says this shit, I'll just sit there probably like, oh boy. You know what I mean? I wouldn't disown my kid, you know what I mean? I'm not throwing my kid away. I'm not doing any of that shit. You know what I mean? But I'd need a moment like by myself to really gather my head and be like, okay, how do I even go forward? What is that like? You know what I mean? How do I treat this? Like, because I'd be completely out of my fucking square.
Right.
If
I
I
mean,
can
and
be of
that's
any
honest.
assistance, for 24 years I've been grappling with the fact that my son is straight, and I can't quite.
I am done
You know?
with David.
You need a
I
moment. You need a
am
moment.
I
done.
do. I
You need
do.
a
I need a
moment.
little liqueur. Pushes the room.
I am
But for
done.
real, like,
No,
that's the thing to do though, right? Take a beat, think about it. You know what I mean? Is this my life or is this his? And why is it putting me off? And
Because it comes
asking
a
all
time
those
when you
questions.
just got to look at your child and say, that's a person.
I say that all the time.
It's like your parents. There comes a time when you have to look at your parents and you have to say, that's a person. There's a transitional period between child and parent where that parent is no longer, they kind of become a friend or like somebody you know, or like they like
Absolutely true. I have a 30-year-old. Trust me. You go through so many phases. You go through denial. First, you go through the shock of you're not like me. You're not exactly like me. You wouldn't do what I would do. You go through that, right? And then you go through denial of they're not you. Then you go through acceptance, and you go through you're a whole person. You just came through me. You're not a clone of me. And this is not exactly LGBTQ connected, but I realized that when my daughter started getting tattoos, I was like, you little motherfucker, I made you and you were perfect. I made you and you were perfect and you went and ruined it. You went and wrote on it and you ruined it.
Where's that receipt?
Right.
Taking her back.
I was like, no, what is this? You ruined what I made. But then I had to realize, I'm like, that's what made her happy. You know what I mean? She didn't use my money because she knew better.
Yeah.
But that's what made her happy. She's a whole individual, and she has to live with whatever it is she does, whether she's going to love it forever or think it's a mistake forever. Because now she's like, I got to get this one off and that one off. I was like, yeah, I told you. But but it's you go through phases as a parent. You're overprotective sometimes, but it was a wake-up call to me. She's not me. She's not you, Jen. You have your own experiences and all of that. And at the end of the day, I'm glad that I look at it like I'm glad that she's a lot freer in her experience to experiment, because I didn't have that luxury. My dad ruled with an iron fist. Iron belt, very masculine, super masculine, too masculine, if you ask me. So there was a lot that I'm not doing that. I'll get killed. Are you kidding me? So I'm glad that I afforded her the freedom to feel like, oh, my mom will be mad for 24 hours and then she'll get over it. So I look at the good parts of it. But when I first saw that tattoo, I was like,
You're right.
what are you doing? It was horrible. It was terrible.
As my daughter gets older and she's growing and developing and so on, it's just every day it's just like, ugh. It's like, ugh.
Oh, it's gonna get worse. Buckle up, baby. Buckle up, baby.
Because I remember when she was like 4 or 5. Then we were at the Magic House and we were playing and I'm behind her and we're doing the daddy-daughter thing. And then I realized that some boy from her school was there. She's like, "Oh, there's such and such." She said, "I think it was Julio." And here's this little 4-year-old menudo-looking kid. He has these long hair.
Not menudo.
He's got long hair. He's this Latin kid. And I'm looking at him, and I'm seeing how my daughter changed around him. I'm like, nah, this is really what I want right now. And I saw how she acted around him, and then he came, and then at one moment he looked at me, and I looked at him, and I had this stern look on my face like this. And he left my daughter alone. He said bye. And he left my daughter alone.
Oh, look at you scaring the babies. Scaring the babies.
It was just a little too much for me in that moment.
That is funny.
So let me ask a question that I've been wondering about as someone on the outside looking in. I do see in every group, I was like, you see, it doesn't matter what the group is. It doesn't matter if it's Latin, Black, gay, LGBT. It doesn't matter what the group is, whether it's Republicans, there's always infighting. Always. And I thought, I am completely shocked that would happen in the LGBTQIA+. I'm sorry. I was like, okay, this is the one group in all the tribes and groups of the land that will never have an issue. They are like this. It's wonderful. It's beautiful. They're welcoming. Everybody's good. It's the color. Look, the rainbow. And then fast forward 2020s.
Don't nobody like nobody in 2020.
What happened?
It's that Rona. That Rona.
It had to be the Rona. It had to be the Rona. I'm like, wait a minute. You guys are waving the rainbow flag. You got me into it. I'm here. I like it. I want to be in the party. And I'm like, oh, I'm not supposed to like those guys? I'm not supposed to like these. Wait, I thought we were. No, we're not. Wait. I'm Studio 54 and no, I got picked to go in. No.
Yeah.
What I'm seeing more and more content. Gay men, fuck those non-binaries, fuck those transgender women. What happened? Can you guys let us? What happened? Because we were ready.
Our community has been so racist and ageist and backbiting. Oh, ageist? You kidding me?
Very ageist from the beginning.
You're over 26-year-old. Once you cross 26, forget about it. You're old meat.
You're kidding me.
Oh God,
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, seriously, right?
Oh yeah.
And then the racism is horrific. Like if you're on the gay apps, if you're on Grindr, forget it. You'll see that no fats, no femmes, like all that shit.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they've been doing no fats, no femmes since I came, like before I even came out,
right.
and I was just peeking out the closet.
And it's particularly funny because we are in this moment where, at least in our community, because I guess a lot of us are into that direction of all of those lines of gender and sexuality just dissolving. And it's like, hey, I like you. You look nice. You smell good. We have great sex. You talk about smart things. Doesn't matter what's going on down there. Okay. I'm just crazy about you. But this community is not nice.
Right.
Wow.
Kind of like the modeling industry run by gays.
Yes. Very not nice.
What?
The modeling industry and the gays in the modeling industry, like, what is that like? How?
I'm sorry, I thought it was synonymous.
No, Lili was telling me certain things, especially with ageism and a lot of other things. I'm like, God damn, y'all got more stipulations.
Lili, can you chime in? I was ready.
Okay, so this is you're still invited to the pride parade. Just bring your just
bring your mace.
Right, just bring your mace. Be ready, So just saying, but
some bear spray,
right? Like it's crazy out here in these streets. Yeah. You got the especially now I'm seeing a lot of the trans non-binary argument. It's like you're not trans enough, and you're
I'm
too
seeing
trans.
that a lot. I'm seeing that a lot.
And I'm just like, I just want to eat my sandwich.
Yeah.
What does that mean? You're not trans enough. Like, what does that mean?
Okay, we could take me for example. I'll go ahead and put myself on the chopping block here.
All right.
I, am considered trans, but I've never gotten any work done, and I've never been on hormones. So by that definition, some people would say I'm not trans enough. Like, oh no, you're not trans. You're more non-binary. No, you're not non-binary. You're more trans. Like I stated before earlier in this stream, I'm done allowing people to tell me who the hell I am.
Return to sender.
Return to sender. So if that's what you need, does it feel better? To go right on ahead. If you want to identify me as Frog, have we seen Frog? Have we seen Frog lately?
I seen
I
Frog.
haven't.
Frog.
I haven't, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But so if you want to identify, if you want to identify me as trans or non-binary, whatever makes you comfortable, it's okay. But there's people who get stuck up on those things, and it goes back to what we were talking about last night, or what was it? The stream the other night we were talking about race, and it's like you're not oppressed enough to stand with us. We're really oppressed. You're semi-oppressed, and it's like, no, we're all on the same Titanic, sweetie.
Yeah. Yeah. We're behind the gate. We're the ones that were locked downstairs.
I remember, generationally too, like, I have a hard time with pronouns. First of all, I can't remember shit anymore. There's too much in here. You know what I mean? And so you want me to remember your name, which I'm not going to remember.
Right.
And you want me to associate your pronoun. I'm not going to remember that. And I don't give a fuck enough about you to record that information in my limited RAM, So I know that's offensive to a lot of people in our community, but that's facts for someone my age. And it's also kind of like, you know what? It's just you and me talking. The only pronouns are you and me. It doesn't matter what your pronouns are in this context.
Right.
That said, flippy sign, I want everyone to be happy and comfortable. I don't want people being misgendered, but that's a challenge for some people. So I think that the Gen Zs and the alphas really need to chill on their, animus towards millennials and Gen X and boomers. Because of that fact, you know what I mean? I've been dealing with this language for 57 years. It's a hard ship to turn around,
Right.
So, and there goes like day one with Lili. I was being respectful and said, what are your pronouns? And she said, I have much bigger problems than my pronouns. I don't care about my pronouns. And you know how I have taken that with me, Lili. And when I do have a minor corporate side still, but when I'm in those team building sessions and they say, tell us your pronouns, I say they are caffeine, chocolate, and sarcasm.
That's
There we
hilarious.
go. There you
That's
go.
hilarious. So wait, they do that team building? They ask for pronouns now? They're that careful. They're that careful.
I work for a very progressive company. So yeah, they have pins. You can have pins on your, lapel that have your preferred pronouns.
What?
Yeah, it's sort of the opposite of Home
emails.
Depot. Yeah, job apps too.
Emails too, on the email signature.
Home Depot.
What is happening?
Home Depot stopped employees from wearing Black Lives Matters gear.
Wow.
My employer makes it with the company logo on it. You know what I mean? Like, this is why I just saw this on the news today, that you got to think about the companies you're dealing with.
I'm so glad you said that, David, because it doesn't come from, and I love how you said, I don't care about you enough. Lili is the first, non-binary woman where I'm like, she, her. We have an affinity though. I can't do that everywhere I go. And people are like, oh, but what if Puerto Rico? I said, listen, I'm Latin. I'm not doing the Latinx, Latin. I'm not doing it. Like David said, it's a hardship.
You can't
turn
even
around.
say it in Spanish. That's the funny thing about Latinx.
It
doesn't linguistically make sense in that language.
I'm like, look, just skip me. There are people younger than me that want to play this. Can you skip me? Skip me and pass the salt. Skip me and pass the fucking salt.
That's how I feel. Oh, and actually, Stephen, we just answered your question, Stephen. Literally just answered your question. That's my cousin.
Georgie Cook. Thank you for that generous super
George.
chat, sir. Good to see you. George Cook says, Lily,
Oh,
great film, though I can't relate in terms of sexual identity, but other things you talked about, I felt you were talking straight to me. And that was so beautiful
Oh,
about the film.
wow, wow, wow. It's a human story. That's what I'm saying. It's a human story. It is not an LGBTQ
right.
specific story. That is a human story about self acceptance, self love, which I feel like a lot of all of us, or most of us, go through, because this is the thing. We're born, people are telling us who we are, like, hey, this is your name, we believe this, we think like this, we don't hang out with them, we like them, we watch this, these are what the holidays we celebrate, and you're just like, okay, I guess,
Hmm.
right? And
So
then
I had to. Mhm.
then you're thrust out into the world, and then you realize, oh, all that shit was bullshit. Like,
Mhm.
so now you've got to figure it all
And
out.
even if not bullshit, just not my shit.
Right.
Mm,
It wasn't my shit. Like I
yeah.
have the right to build my shit and believe my shit and feel my shit and want my shit. You know what I mean? Everybody else is like, no, this is what we do. And that's why I say you see babies in like onesies, like Raiders. How do you know that baby's gonna like the Raiders? What are you
Yeah.
doing? What are you
Yeah.
doing?
We really also thought of the film as a cautionary tale, to parents about let your children be who they want to be, not who you want them to be. Because they're going to
Yes.
be who
Mhm.
they want to be eventually. And it's just a question of whether they live their life in their lifetime or they have to wait until after your lifetime to live their life. And it might be, you know, a late
Oh,
start at that point.
that's so deep, and I wanna piggyback off that because I correct my friends. I have a lot of friends that play around with the gay thing, and even if there's no malice, right? They be like, "Oh,
Right.
that's gay," or that motherfucker. You know what I mean? I'm like, you have to be very careful. I even say this to men that make fun or make light of women who are sexually assaulted. I said, you do not know if your sister that's in the living room has been sexually assaulted. You do not know if your daughter is gay and they're just listening to you spew this hate and this rhetoric and this stupidity. And then it just makes it worse for them. Like, oh my God, that's how my dad feels about gay people. I'm not going to say anything. So it goes back to what you said, David. I talk about sexual assault too. I'm like, what is it? 1 in 3 now is the stat of women who are sexually assaulted, or 1 in 4. I'm like, someone in your family, someone in your immediate family, not your long lost sister or cousin, in your immediate family, in your home. And I always tell men, have a heart to heart with any woman in your family. Just ask her this one question. Have you ever been made to feel uncomfortable around a man?
Mm.
That simple question. I said, you will be shocked at the answer. I said, sit with any woman in your family, your baby mama, your ex wife, your daughter, your niece, your grandma, your mother. Sit with them and just ask them, hey, ma, hey, sis, I'm just wondering, I'm just curious. I was reading something. Have you ever been made to feel uncomfortable in the same space that you shared with a man? You will be shocked. You will be shocked at the answer. And I tell men that all the time. Same thing with the LGBTQ. Stop talking about gay people in that way because you don't know if your child is one of them. You think you're, hey, high fiving your son. You may be high fiving a gay son, but he's
Mhm.
not going to tell you. And that leads to all kinds of complications and drugs and depression, as we saw with the film so eloquently. You know what I mean? Just eloquently stated. So it is a cautionary tale. That's how I also took it.
You know,
You. Oh, go ahead.
um, I never really told the girls this, but sometimes for some guys that I do know who they might have dropped by and saw the show, sometimes I do get shit for actually hanging out with the Latina racist and the trans woman, you know what I mean? And I know what they're getting at, and like, why are you hanging out over there and why are you having these discussions? And I said, well, because I want to. And
Oh,
both two people who I believe they're both intelligent people, and I believe that they both have something to offer. And then I also say that why are you over there, you know what I mean, sucking the penis of white men, you know what I mean, since we're having an honest conversation.
And you're not gay, so it's weird. It's weird.
But
That's
not in
really
a
weird.
gay way.
Right,
Yeah,
not in the gay way.
in the non-gay way.
Right.
In the non-gay way.
You know what I mean? And then, you know what I mean, you know, the conversation usually goes, well, why you got to go over that? Yeah, whatever, you know, don't bring up things. My thing is like, don't bring up things if you really, really, really don't want to go down a rabbit hole, you know? And again, I will say this, you know, we all deal with things, you know, I deal with shit too, you know, in my community as a Black man, you know what I mean? Certain things I see or hear on social media and be like, well, you know what I mean, Black men don't do this, and you know what I mean, you're not a Black man if you do that. And I'm like, what? You know what I mean? Maybe I wasn't there for the, you know, the council meeting for that.
You don't watch BET?
Like there's certain things where it's just like
Chicken
the
and
whole,
watermelon?
when we get into the whole, you know what I mean, coffee date, you know what I mean, debate. And I'm a simp and I'm a less of a man if I want to take a woman out and have a nice time. I'm like, I want to be a gentleman. Like that's like taboo now. Like what? Like why aren't you on that panel arguing with that woman? Like I agree with a lot of the things she's saying.
Oh no, you mustn't agree with me, Haran. You mustn't.
Like I'm
It's
supposed
forbidden.
to choose your side because of gender, and you're absolutely wrong. But you know, what I mean, just as long
That's
as
how it goes, Ron.
it's the right thing to do. And yeah, that's a great way to get to a practical resolution. But yeah, sure. But I say all that to say, at the end of the day, you know, we all go through our things, and it's amazing when you hear about everyone's story. You can just see the parallels.
Mm-hmm.
You can just see how a lot of things overlap, and you
Pain
realize
is pain, man. Pain.
Yeah, we all go
pain
through the
is
same
pain.
shit.
yeah, we're all and realize at the end of the day, we're all living different experiences of the human, you know, condition.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Oh, and I want to piggyback off of what you said, Jen,
Mm-hmm.
is how people do those things like, oh, not my child, not my homies. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so what they're really saying is this. There's a couple of things that they're saying. What they're saying is they have a problem with people being openly LGBTQ. See, as long as you can lie to them and tell them good little lies
Mm-hmm.
and fly under the radar and keep them comfortable, then they're okay, right?
Yeah.
And so one of the other biggest misconceptions with LGBTQ is that all gay men are feminine.
Mm-mm.
They're just gay men. They're just men. That's the one thing they have in common. It's not the masculinity and femininity. It's just they're men. Like that's
Ooh, because I done found out some things, Lili. I was like, you and you
I
and you too.
don't.
Holy
yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
So when they say that, it's like, and I'll be thinking like, homie, like trust me, there's somebody or somebody's in your crew that's getting down with the get down, but you just rather not know. Say that. Say that.
That's the real. That's the
real
real
thing.
Right.
issue. What's up, Ish? How are you?
Peace, knee deep in daddy daycare.
Hey.
Of course. What you got? I know
Um,
you had a question in the chat. I didn't grab it though. Sorry.
yeah, I had a question about. I wanted to see the project before asking some of the questions that I had initially.
Well, you were late, honey. We said sharp, and we
Right,
started
you know,
late.
You know, was your project inspired by Tangerine at all to do it on a cell phone versus any other format?
We were broke.
We were broke. It wasn't inspired, but I definitely said, look, Rolls-Royce has made a commercial on an iPhone. Tangerine was filmed on an iPhone. We can knock this motherfucker out on an iPhone. There's, we can do it.
Mm-hmm.
You actually can, though. I mean, if you kind of think about it, because Tangerine was filmed on a lesser iPhone.
Yeah.
So you can
Less than this old piece of shit.
yeah, you know, if you really want to be technical, the cameras in your phone right now outpace the expensive cameras from 30 years ago. Production.
That's very true. That's a good point. That's a
And
good point.
easier to use, and they're
So
more
you
user
gotta-
friendly.
It's really all about your boom mic and if you got a nice tripod going and you understand angles and storytelling, you can pull off a lot with an iPhone, man.
And it's a whole industry. You can kit and rig an iPhone out completely. Like
That's true. That's
cinema
very true.
quality, get everything that you need. I did buy an, we're going to turn into like men with gadgets talk, but here's the new.
Mm-hmm.
The
movie
there we go.
booth,
See, I'm
Yeah,
looking
that's
at
the
you.
one. Yeah, I have that one. I got.
Yeah.
But this,
wow.
Lili, this is the camera. And
Oh,
it's got a
that's
little
not the one I
screen right
have.
down here, and it's tiny. This is a DJI Pocket 2, it's called. So it's a steady cam
Wow.
in either direction, and this is what I'm going to use. This is what I'm going to do on chapter 2, Lili.
Okay, I'm here
What
for
they
it.
But
get
that's
you for? What they get you for, David? How much was that?
that wasn't bad. It was like $350 with a sound kit that has a clip-on bit that you can even put a little lav mic on.
That's not
So,
bad at all. At
no,
all.
and
The
frankly,
phones are more expensive.
this much is like an added handle. This whole thing is so small, and it really does the shit. But now we're not here to
Wow.
talk about. This is not Sharper Image Live.
No, that was awesome. No, we want to know because people are like, I got to film, I got to shoot, I got an iPhone.
David, we're all in the industry here, so I get you're amongst the right people to have that type of talk.
Yeah, I always want to know what it gets.
I'm going into a new phase that is hopefully going to involve a lot of filming, and
nice.
It sucks. I don't want to. That's $350. What am I going to buy, a $1,500 iPhone?
Right.
Nah. So and I can take calls. So,
see,
right.
Yeah. Or we got a scene. We got a scene where we got to be on the phone. Everyone's phone is being used as a fucking camera.
Right.
Now to add to another point, what Haran experienced, I experienced with my middle daughter, where she was in high school and she was dating a classmate, and which was a girl, and we had a thing when she was younger. We had a thing called amnesty conversations, where if you can talk to me, you say, hey, I want to have amnesty, and we can have a conversation without judgment, without consequence, and we can just have a straightforward conversation. So she was like, Dad, I need amnesty. So your stomach drops. It's like, okay, what is it today? I robbed the bank, Dad. It's like, so she was she said she liked this girl, and so then like Haran says, you pause for a moment, but this is my child. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I've raised her, changed her diapers. I was a single dad at a certain point with her, so it was like, okay, is this who you are? Is this something you're exploring? Like, that was my first question. And she says, I don't know. She says, I know I like her. And I was like, okay. All right, well, this is what it is at this point, and that was the only experience that I'm aware of. The relationship ended. But this was like, again, early on in high school. So I was like, it's an off-putting, but it wasn't as dramatic as you think in your head before you experienced it. It's literally just, if you have a relationship with your child, you're having just a real conversation about what they're experiencing, and they have to at least have the option to have a guided conversation, from the person that brought them into to life, So that's the responsibility I felt in dealing with her, with that, so that we can think it so dramatic in our heads, but that conversation literally to this date. Okay, yes, ma'am. It's just not as dramatic as we think.
Did you feel like you had a hard time being neutral on it, or did you find yourself wanting to push her one direction or the other, or were you able to stay pretty much in the middle?
Well, I've had a lot of experience. I worked in LA County Jail in the corrections. The first section I worked in was they segregate the different groups. So I worked in the homosexual deck. So that was my first, like, at 21 years old, like, inundated into that world in the jail experience. Then afterwards, I worked at a fitness gym in West Hollywood, 24-hour fitness.
Okay.
Right. So
you were on the
that
front
was-
lines.
Yeah. That was a bathhouse. And then, working in the film industry, I worked on several projects that were, with those themes. So, I mean, just In Between Men and then Bears 3. So
Oh, yeah.
I was inundated with the community and the culture. So it wasn't something that it was just, it wasn't obscure to me. Having working conversations and being around, so you can deal with the humanity of an individual. I mean, Jen knows that I'm, extremely religious, and militant, and so that I have my opinions about what it is, but I have also my engagement and my interactions, which lays a different foundation. So it's not, your faith has one. It's like, from a religious perspective, it's, you hate the sin, not the sinner, and that's kind of the perspective that I walk with.
That's one of my biggest annoyances. I think that's very passive aggressive when I hear that. And I'm not saying that you're saying it in a derogatory way, but that was something coming up in a religious household. Um I was that was something that was told to me, is like, hate the sin, not the sinner. And I'm like, but I'm the one that's sinning, according to you.
According to you.
Yeah, but see,
I was wondering.
people
I was wondering
that
how you could
fornicate are
separate
sinning.
those.
People that fornicate are sinning. So it's like, and no sin is greater than another sin. So somebody is lying is sinning. Somebody is stealing is sinning. So it's all equal in that dynamic. So then you can't
Which means
turn
we
around
don't
and
hate
say,
the sin because we're still sinning. So we don't hate it.
well, when I say you hate the aspect of the sin, I mean, you may participate in it, but what I'm saying is, it's more of an aspirational statement than it is an actual, like, a lot of people don't hate fornicating. You know what I'm saying? But
Right. And so when I hear that,
but
it
the
sounds like,
consequences, but and pardon me for interrupting there, but the consequences is what you're looking at from a spiritual from a religious perspective, I should say. You know what I'm saying? The consequences of fornicating can fall into unplanned pregnancies, STDs, all those type of things. So when you're talking about sin, you're not talking about it, or at least some are not talking about it from the perspective of, you're super bad. It's just, there's consequences to those choices, and you have to acknowledge and understand those consequences. And that's why those choices are put in a book of laws of saying, if you're into this, then this is against the law of God. You know what I mean? So that's just the standards there. That's, where it comes from.
Question. I just need to ask a question. Are you saying that some sins are more acceptable than others?
yeah.
No, I'm saying they're all equal. All sins are equal. All crimes in a book of laws is a crime, regardless.
So
The consequences are different. The consequences may be different in their scale, but it's all a violation.
So, quick question. Are we saying that fornication is treated in the same manner as being homosexual? or being
Exactly.
trans? Are they both treated in the same manner, or should they both be treated in the same manner?
I think they should be, but
When
they're
you say
not. That's the
when you say
answer.
treated, what do you mean?
Well, we can contend that, particularly in the Black community, being trans or homosexual or gay is seen as a sin, more so a sin as is fornication. Fornication is more so forgiven in the Black community. Can we contend that?
No, I'm not contentious of that. I agree that is the misperception of understanding the dynamics of sin. But
So,
if you study the scriptures and the books,
but this is what I'm saying: is it that big of a deal? Even though we're agreeing that yes, fornication is not treated in the same manner, are we agreeing that it's allowed to slide as opposed to being trans or gay?
yeah, I mean that
How do you
absolutely.
feel
But
about that?
again, like I stated
How do you
earlier,
feel about that?
well, how do I feel about that?
Yeah, how do you feel about that?
Again,
Because you just said a
when
sin
you
is a sin.
understand,
They all should be treated equally.
I,
So how do you feel about the fact that that fornication is allowed and being gay or trans is not?
Was actually high fived. It's a high five that comes with it too.
The
I
high five comes with
agree
what?
The
that they're
fornication.
all equal
Oh,
in the law at the end of the day. So how I feel about that is our poor performance when it comes to religious practice.
Hmm, interesting.
But they're equal. I mean, it's like they're equal.
You think that
It's an
do you
equal
think that they're
violation
treated
of
equally?
spiritual law.
Do you think that they're
Huh?
treated equally? Do you believe that they're treated equally?
I don't think we're doing anything equally correctly.
I'm asking, do you think that is being treated equally? I'm not asking about everything else. I'm asking about that particularly.
I'm
I'm
talking about that everything encompasses that, sir.
No, it doesn't, Ish. I'm not.
You-
You're running away from the question. You're running away from the
no,
question.
the
No,
question, I get it. I got it. I got it. Ish, do
Give me one
you
second.
think those things are treated unequally? You said, I think everything is. That's a political answer. That's what politicians
well,
do.
no,
Well,
well,
I think
no, I'm.
water over there is green and water. No, do you think that homosexuality and fornication are treated equally? Do you think those two things, not everything is not unequal. The water rises in the sun depending on the day of the week. Do you think those two things are treated equally? Just those two things.
No, they're
If
not
you can.
treated. They're not treated equally, but they should be
Okay, then that's your opinion. Okay.
based upon what Scripture says. If
Scripture.
you're
Okay.
following, yeah, if you're following, if you're following Scripture, they fall equally, and
If
that's
you're
what I
following
stated.
scripture,
So
well,
if you're
how often? Okay, how often do you think people follow scripture in general? I mean, in general, and this goes beyond homosexuality. How often are people following scripture? Do you think that is chock full of hypocrisy, no matter what religion you're in? Would you
I
say?
agree. Yeah, I think that everyone's hypocritical in relationship to that, based upon the convenience of it or their desires. But that's the concept. But because of that, there are consequences attached to all that.
What are the consequences to being gay? I'm just curious. Because I know the consequences to fornication. You can get an STD, you can have an unwanted pregnancy, you can ruin a marriage, you could ruin a relationship. But if it's a sin under the God's law, basically, what are the consequences to being gay
I mean,
in God's law? Because I don't listen. I'm not the most religious person. I'm actually an atheist. Go atheist.
Yeah.
So what is right? So
Me
it's like,
too.
David is too.
what?
Big time.
Oh, hey. Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm meeting so much more now. I think I'm just bringing that energy because all of a sudden I didn't know any, and now all of a sudden, it's happening. It's a beautiful thing. And we have like
Yeah.
how many other panelists? No Saint is an atheist. We got a couple. David. So welcome to
All
hell.
right. I knew I felt comfortable in this chair.
Okay. So Ish, what are the consequences? What does law say? What does God say?
I think the from okay, the sociological consequences of the ostracization that happens, in society. There's a consequence there. There's a consequence, the same consequences that uh, occur within fornication, occur in homosexual relationships.
Hold on,
The
let's go back to number one. What do you mean by number one? That's
Yeah,
my
because I
favorite
didn't
one.
I didn't
That's
get
my
that
favorite.
well,
That
either.
I did, but that's my favorite one. I wanna dissect that one. That's my favorite one.
Because ostracization is not a God's law. It's just people being prejudiced and biased and bigots against something
right,
they
but
don't agree
well,
with.
right, but that again, that's a consequence, and I'm not saying it's a consequence that's being imposed by some sort of divine being. I'm saying it's a consequence sociologically,
No, but I'm talking about
that
divine
occurs.
being. You said a God law. So I'm trying to stick to
Well,
God's laws, not what humans
God's
do.
law. Okay, let me say this: I don't believe God is not a human, so we can just take that away. You know what I'm saying? We only know of God through human beings, so I see humanity, the human experience as a divine
Okay,
experience.
so you thinking that the gods walking the earth, you think human beings are gods. So the gods walking on earth are the ones that are going to lay down the law. And one of those consequences is ostracizing the gods, ostracizing the gay person.
Basically,
Wow. So
Interesting.
that's very interesting. Okay.
So those guys ostracize the gay person, but not the person fornicating.
Right. So we're going back
well,
to that
no, but I'm
again.
not. Again, I'm not. I never said not ostracizing the fornicator. All that falls into the category. Adultery falls into that category. They stone in certain communities. They stone people who are committing adultery.
Right. Look
So
what
listen,
Vicky
so
So
this
said.
so
is
Look,
all those
look.
laws have violations to them.
Okay, look what
All
Vicky
those laws
said
have
though.
consequences
This
to them.
look what Vicky Jones said, and this was my question to you. But you said God's law. That's why I asked you that question. Someone in the chat, unrelated to the panel, said, but you said God's law. So when you say God's law, you make it sound like it's an entity or a deity or somebody outside of humans that are walking around being gods. So that's how everybody
Again,
understood
and
it.
and my
well,
thing
that I
is
mean,
with
because
that with
that's the
with
perception of that's how in this culture and in this and under this time frame, you know, that's the perception of God. God is this spooky ghost in the sky, but we don't. I personally don't believe that. In the historical dynamics of uh, ancient communities and indigenous people, they didn't see God outside of themselves. So we're a manifestation of the divine life.
but you just introduced a very spooky god to us. Like this god is selective, and this is the thing. By that logic, right? Um that you had stated, God, I forgot what it was you said before. It just slipped my mind. Go ahead and I'll come back to it.
I do want to. Oh, I do want to ask a question I found interesting. You said that when your daughter came to you, it did give you some worry as a parent, which obviously is quite normal. But then it seems like you're riding the fence in between logic and common sense and your religion, because you said, "Hey, as a parent, I'm worried, blah, blah." And then there's this religious thing, but you was like, yeah, but I've been to prison and I saw the butt fucking, and I saw this and I saw that. So I knew it was obvious. I knew it was obvious that homosexuality existed. So that's what kept me centered to have this conversation. So it sounds kind of like you're riding the fence, like you don't even believe the religion. You don't
That's what
even
I was
believe it
gonna.
because
That,
you didn't condemn her. If you believe in that religion, you should have kicked her out the house, right? You should have disowned her. You should have ostracized her because you said that's what the gods do. You're a god walking on earth. You should have ostracized her. So it sounds like you were selective. No, this is my daughter. Plus, I saw some butt fucking, so I know it's normal. You understand what I'm saying? Like, am I coming? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Alicia,
I do understand what you're saying. I mean,
Okay.
your
All
over
right. So,
dramatization of the scenario was not the case. I did not see butt
well,
fucking,
I'm,
but
I'm
we
always
can.
gonna put some sauce on it, but basically,
Right.
you understand what you understand what I meant. I
There
can't
is
do it
I
without
just
no.
want to.
sauce.
I just want to set the record straight, just so we're clear.
I, I
Every
I
can't
want
do
to
second,
set
you're
the
like,
record
okay,
straight.
right,
There is no
okay.
hot sauce in butt fucking.
Okay.
because that wouldn't be.
But David, but if there was.
No.
Give me,
On either end, I
just
think
a
it's a
second.
lose-lose.
I can, because I can have a more focused conversation if I can get this 3-year-old
All
out
right,
the
cool.
car.
Okay, cool.
That is too funny.
As a,
Well, I think the crux there though was that was. Oh, I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
no,
No, go ahead, David.
Oh,
Well,
I think the crux there was that he chose to hate the sin and not the sinner. So, not reacting in that way to his daughter and understanding,
convenient.
She is her own person. She is her own person on her own journey and may not have the same, may have a different concept of our faith than I do, or may have a completely different faith or no faith. And yeah, I mean, that's what I got out of what Ish was saying.
and what I got out of
Okay.
it was, it was this, like, if they believe it's the same and they're not practicing homosexuality, then that's nothing that they need to even be worried about, because the fornication is the real sin, and that is the sin that they are practicing for the most part, because no one's claiming to be homosexual, and that, um I guess it's NOI. No one's, standing like, hey guys, I'm just like you. I'm just a homosexual. I know you guys are fornicating. I'm the homosexual. You're the fornicator. We're all the same. Like, no one's doing that for a reason. And it's because they focus more on that. And so to play in our face with this, like, it's all the same. And I see it as a
Like,
form
don't do
of,
that. Don't
don't
do
do
that.
it, because we both know in our community it is not the same. Hence why you don't hear a ton of preachers preaching about fornication, but you're going to always hear them preaching about homosexuality.
Right.
It's not the same in our community, and that is the reason, one of the many reasons why this film was needed, why this stream is needed, the streams that we do, that's why they're needed, because we talk about these things and we hold each other
Yes,
to
we do.
task
Yes, we
when we're
do.
like, no, you're talking out of both sides of your mouth now. Like,
and
um,
this is one of the reasons why I don't personally subscribe to any religion or dogma in overall. Religion, in a sense, it was created to police human nature.
right.
It's not a
Oh.
reflection of human nature.
Right.
Human nature is very hypocritical. Human nature is about motherfuckers protect theirs and they protect their own. For instance, if someone committed a crime, and I'm a police officer, and this person is in my presence, I'm running them down. Now, Janicia commits a fucking crime, I'm going to come to her door and be like, what happened? I'm going to give her a chance to fucking tell me what happened.
Well, what happened? And Janicia will be coming to the door like this.
Right.
Officer, I tried to figure it out. But since you're here, you
And
are
I'll
parched.
be there with my partner, like, you see, I told you. It's exactly like I said what happened. Now let's go on. You know what I mean? Now,
You look parched. I just put a pot of coffee on the stove. Come on.
Now it's the same thing too, like, ideas about trans people. Like before that, before I met Lili, I can have my ideas about trans people or whatever. But then, after I meet Lili, it's like, well, those trans people, this is my Lili. Like, no, this not this trans person. You know what I mean? Like, I make a joke a lot of times, like, if it was ever a revolution, every black person has that one white person in their life that they'll give a 20-minute head start.
Yeah, we got a couple. We got a couple here on the block. We got a couple here on the block.
Yeah, we got our colonizers, our resident colonizers on the block.
Yes, we do. Yes,
So,
we do.
yes.
Everybody has that. And it's just human beings, because when it's ours, when we know certain things, then that bias kicks in. And bias is very fucking human. We're all biased to a degree. It's just like, no, this is not like that. No, that's like that. Yeah, I know.
I mean, just free yourself and say it. I love this comment here, because I know the Muslims are real strict about homosexuality, but according to Alicia Newton, she says, as a gay Muslim, ostracization is real. So I just found my gay Muslim community. I think that's going to make that's going to crunch Ish's butthole if he hears that, because he is a Muslim as well. So I don't know if I don't know how he's going to take to that. Joseph White says scripture describes homosexuality as an abomination. Where is fornication described as harshly? And Ty Rivera is laughing at the gym. He's at the gym listening to us. He's laughing at this.
The thing with Ish, the way that he handled the situation like a father.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he put his child in front of his faith. Okay, he didn't do anything wrong.
More of that, please.
You know,
yes,
and that's your fucking kid. I wouldn't look at you like, well, the honorable, like, no, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
But in reality, there's a lot of people who do.
Right, but that's what.
Yeah.
But okay, here's the thing. And here's the thing.
I'll tag on to that. Go ahead.
The people who do, they can talk that talk. They can talk that talk, because what will we say? Well, those are such and such's beliefs. I know why they got kicked out. But to have somebody preach that and talk that, and then be like, oh, but you're my daughter, so I'll change it a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Which shows that they do that whenever it's convenient. Not just with the daughter, but with fornication or whatever is convenient in that moment. And that's the point that was being made in that moment.
Amen, amen. Atheist, amen up in this bitch.
Hello.
Right. It's like
they like our own words.
And this is the thing. Everyone knows I'm not an atheist, but I love atheists because they use fucking common sense.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's my thing. Like, and that's why I love that I have these friends that I can have these conversations with, because we can respect where we agree. We can say, okay, now that part, I ain't with that part, but enjoy, or whatever. Right. But that's the thing. But that's why I've always been able to get along with atheists, because they use their common sense and don't try to hide behind something. A lot of times people will use religion to hide.
Yes.
Right. And that's what bothers me. Instead of just saying, this is what it is. Because I can handle that. I can handle saying I'm biased and I can't tell you why. I don't know. I don't like you. You haven't done anything to me. I don't even know why I don't like you. That's it. I can handle that.
Circling back to DeSantis, I would rather children know absolutely nothing about religion. I would prefer it not be legal to introduce your children to religion until they are rational adults, rational, free-thinking adults. Not even introduce. Not even, okay, we're Jewish, but, when you get older, you can be what you want to be. No. Like, don't start them until they're rational thinking adults.
Let me tell you.
Then introduce them. That would be my anti-DeSantis.
I will never forget. I shared this on the show before. I think I've shared this on the show before. When I was introduced to religion when I was younger, it didn't make sense to me then, right? And so I remember I was told we were Christian, and I was like, I don't know who she is, but okay. And then I was explained that we had to be friends with Christian, because if not, we were going to go to hell. And I was like, oh, what's hell? And they was like telling me about the fire and the brimstone. I said, oh no, don't want to go there, because I'd already got my lesson of touching the stove, so I knew what hot was and all of that good stuff. Okay, boom. Christmas time comes. Next door, the kid next door, he was of a different faith. And this is how I found out. It was Christmas Day. I'm excited. I got my toys. I run over there. I'm like knocking on the door. Is Matthew home? And his mom's like, yeah. And I was like, I want to see, what he got for Christmas and show him what I got for Christmas. She was like, oh, sweetie, we don't celebrate Christmas. And I was just looking like child abuse. Like, I'm like
child abuse.
Like, what kind of home? Like, yeah, what kind of home is Matthew living in? And she said, we celebrate Hanukkah. And I was like, really? And I was like, well, why would they do that? And that's what I'm thinking. And I said, well, what's Hanukkah? Naturally. And because I'm like 5 at this point. And she was like, well, on Hanukkah, we actually have 8 days that we give presents. 8 days. Well, hold up. I'm the one getting cheated, right?
Right.
You're like, I like your God better.
I like
lazy ass Santa Claus.
So I went right on back home. I said, well, I'll be right back. Went right back to the house. Mom, we need to be Jewish.
Oh,
I
that's
was like,
hilarious. That's
she was
hilarious.
like, why do we need to be Jewish? And I'm like, because Matthew is getting 8 days worth of toys over there. Like, Santa
I would
comes.
say, I would say people are so confident about their religion, they should let the child be an adult. And
But
see
this
if
was
the
my
child,
next.
if you're so confident that your God is the God, let the child
I'm
grow
very
up.
on the fence about that because I just don't generally trust people. I don't trust people to their own fucking devices. I don't need you to love God. I need you to be afraid of the devil. I need you to be afraid of
But the devil gets such a bad rap. He just puts sauce on shit you want to
Hey,
do.
look, listen,
The devil's like me. He just puts sauce on shit you want to do.
whatever makes them not.
He's like, okay, cool, I got you. That's what you want to
Sauce
do?
Bay.
People are terrible now.
That's it.
Okay, people are terrible now. If they were raised to believe that there really isn't no consequence, no matter what you do in life and so on and so forth or whatever. If they thought that, I just don't know what this world would
Yeah,
be.
but you know what?
No,
Go ahead, David, because I got pushed back
that's
too.
just
But
that argument that you can't be moral without religion, and that's just not true.
I don't trust most people to be moral without religion.
I'm completely immoral, granted, but
you know what I mean. You three are intelligent, or I can see are intelligent people. You're intelligent people. You're rational people. You're like 3 out of 100. You know what I mean?
Well, I'll say this, right? I got 2 grandbabies, the new one, right? Mm-hmm. My daughter, I'm always telling her, send me pictures. What? She sends me a picture of the little one, and she has on a Christmas onesie, and I'm like, I'm just like, I need to be there because obviously something is wrong. It's gone. It's starting. Like the little Christmas, my first Christmas. I was like, right? But here's what I'll say. Here's what I say to Haran. Religion has not stopped some of the most heinous crimes on the planet. Religion doesn't stop shit. It really doesn't. Let me tell you something. Whoever doesn't want to do a thing is just not going to do a thing, and they're comfy with a Jesus and a God or whatever. They're comfy. However, if someone wants to do a thing, they're going to do a thing, and they're going to do it in the name of the Lord, or at the very least, in the vein of, well, the Lord will forgive me. So religion doesn't stop. A lot of people say religion keeps me. You said it a minute ago. Religion is to police human nature. Human nature is stronger than any Jesus. Sorry, it just is. Well, people that don't want to do something.
And Mother Nature is stronger than all of them.
If most people were rational, and capable of rational thinking, we wouldn't need a 2-party system. We wouldn't need all of these things in place for people to make a rational decision in terms of government, in terms of how to run a society. We could, like most people don't even know what the fuck they're actually voting for. Most people don't even.
Then the 2-party system is a farce. Then people are just doing. Then people are just doing what someone told them to do. But before. Because religion is about power, the 1%, the people in power. Mm-hmm. What about before there was Democrats and Republicans? What were human beings doing then? Here's the thing about human beings. Since the beginning of the caves, human beings were fuck ups.
Yes.
I don't understand. There's always every century there's this new system to control humans, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Like humans since the beginning of time, there's been pedophilia, there's been sexual assault, there's been cheating, there's been robbing, there's been murder, there's been mess up. Since the beginning of time, there's been jealousy and envy. It's like people are constantly trying to reel in the human being. No, this is what it is. Now, of course, you can get a group every now and then to follow like cattle, like that way. Okay, we'll wear blue shirts. Well, we don't like those blue shirts. We wear red shirts. Every now and then you can do that, but religion doesn't stop. We got a religious man up here talking about stuff.
The point I was going to make before we go any further down that.
I will say this. I believe, when he comes back, maybe he can speak to this. I think he's religious when it's convenient, like most people.
I agree.
Most people are religious when it's convenient, meaning that.
Well, I mean, few people chapter and verse practice, everything in those books.
Absolutely.
and so many people just go to church on Easter or whatever.
But I generally just
Yeah.
don't trust people.
And I think that's a good thing. But I
Okay,
have
so
a
what's
hard
the
time.
measurement? What's the
Of what?
measurement to know if you're in good standing with that religion? Right? Like, for instance,
Impossible.
I'm being sarcastic, I'm being facetious in this moment. So all of us can say that we're Christian. Okay, let's just call out Christian right now, okay? I'm just bear with me for 1 second. 1 second,
Okay.
Jen. 1 second, David. 1 second, okay? So yes, and that's the point I was just about to make, Tweepy. So the thing is this, like, so what is the measurement? Because we could be born in a household and claim a certain religion, and
Mhm.
we can say we're Catholic all our life and never touch anything Catholic, versus the person who goes to mass every day, I guess it is,
Yep.
but then they're doing a few things. They may be doing some strange things for some change, but they make it to
Mhm.
mass every day. They make it there. Okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, and then we got the in-betweeners. Like, so what is the measurement to know if we're in good standing of that religion? That's one. But the question that I had as a kid, after I found out that we couldn't be Jewish and that we had to be Christian, I asked my mother, well, why? And she said, well, because they're going to go to hell and we're not. And I said, well, how do I know that we have the right one? Like, what's
Mm.
the, what, tell me, what, like, how do we know we're right and they're wrong? No one was
No one
able to
has an
answer
answer.
that question.
Tyra Vera says, I don't need you to love God. I just need you to be afraid of the devil. Laughing out loud. I don't agree, but it's a great quote. Joseph White says, atheists have never flown planes into the sides of buildings. I'm just
Thank you.
saying.
Yeah.
And that is
I'm just
dogma. That is
saying.
dogma. That is blind. That is
Dogma.
blind following. That is just this idea that anything that is being spat at you is law. You cannot question it. And if someone says to you, "Well, you're going to run these planes into the, at the middle of the day in the name of this being that none of us have ever seen, and no one has ever come back and even said that, hey, that guy really does exist. He has a mustache. Nobody can say this." But we're going to run
Oh,
these.
wait a minute. You mean that guy that made Rwanda happen? That guy? Yeah, that one.
There you go. Now,
Well, listen, Haran, they could probably get me if they promise me 77 Jason Momoas.
Yeah.
That's how
I mean,
What kind of number is that?
how can we get these guys on board? Okay, let's say we get 22 virgins. Like, okay.
77.
That's
What's
how
Gatorade? Can I get you a snack?
that's what they offer them, right? 77 virgins. I'll take 77 Momoas. You never know. I'll take, I'm sorry. I don't believe this. Oh, my Vegatron said it works enough. It could be so much worse, especially when it comes to violence. No, I think humans will always, violent humans will always be violent. It's not going to be worse. Humans are going to human.
Look at the stats. The most atheists are where? In China. Are they more violent than us?
Right. That's right. I was surprised at the population of atheists in China is huge.
No shit.
They're very evolved people. They're very
huge. The majority of atheists are in China. I was like, oh, go to China.
They're scientifically involved, technologically involved. They, you know what I mean? They know how to read.
Searches flights to Beijing.
They listen in class. They listen in class.
You know what I mean? So there are a lot of things over in China.
Mm-hmm. Tova says, Lili, Christianity should be a personal relationship with God. Going to mass and doing certain things, religious things, doesn't mean you're a Christian. In the Old Testament, it explains.
Okay, so I do believe that spirituality should be personal, period. And that's the point I'm going to make. It is for you and no one else. What I believe does nothing for you. So why should I even tell you what I believe? To be real with you, it's going to do nothing for you. And what you believe is going to do nothing for me. So that is one of the biggest issues that I had, like, what triggering points for me, because being trans and coming up as a gay person, people always ask me, like, always want to tell me what they believe or what I should believe. And it had nothing to do with me. That had nothing to do with me. Like, whatever, like there's so many different religions in the world and so many different spiritual practices, right? And everyone feels like there's this right, which is
No.
okay. It is totally okay, but don't involve anyone else in it, because if
I
it's
just
so
think
right,
I think
then
they're social clubs, I mean, disrespectfully, I guess. I won't say respectfully. I think they're all social clubs. I think they're no different than sports or politics. Like everybody has their group, everybody has their religious social club, and they're all going to wear a certain thing and dress a certain. No, this religion, and on our team we cover up to here. On our team we wear the long skirts to the ankle. On our team we sleep with our fathers. On our team, you know what I mean? It's everybody has a different. There's a different team for everybody. So I just find it silly. I try not to be insulting, but I'm like, my brain, it was
Yeah,
made
yeah,
to compute. It
every
computes. It's logic. It's
every
made to
book,
yeah.
compute.
every religious text, whether it be the Quran, the Torah, the Bible, every text, every doctrine, it's based on one thing. When you break them down to the fucking cliff notes, every one of them: behave, 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 behave yourself, behave. And you know why?
Behave how I say,
You know
right?
what I mean? And you know why?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
pieces of shit. You know what I mean? Human beings, you know what I mean? They're children at the core of them. If you take your eyes off of us for 5 minutes, you come back, fucking building is burnt down. Somebody's got shot up. All kinds of fucking wild and crazy shit happens. There's always some story in all of these texts where one guy comes from the ether and teaches the people how to behave, whether it's the fucking 10 Commandments or this shit, or the Honorable Elijah Muhammad came and spoke to Muhammad and yada yada. There's always a point in time where somebody says, you motherfuckers need to stop acting up like a fucking parent. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
in that context, this is why I just don't trust people. I just don't trust people. You know what I mean? They need to be chained to something. Yes, there's some people who are
What is
intellectual.
happening?
There's some people
Something
who
moving or stationary?
yes, I think certain people need. You see how you see the parent walking around with the kid with the leash on them. You know what I mean?
We've seen it. All right.
Most people are that.
White
Most
people.
people, you got to walk around with them with a little leash. Why? Because if you don't, little Timmy's going to be in the fucking water fountain drowning somebody. He's going to be a statue. He's going to be doing all kinds of fucking shit.
What is happening?
You know what I mean?
I don't know, but I'm going to time out.
Who are behaving and acting like civilized
Time out.
beings. You know what I mean? And ironically, those people don't reproduce enough. You know what I mean? Those
Yeah,
people don't.
I know.
Lily, what's your belief? You believe in a God, but not religion?
Ooh,
Because
that's
how
a very helpful.
this is my question. The only way you know of a God was via religion. So how do you do one without the other? Because a lot of people say that I don't believe in no religion, but I believe in God. But you came to know of a God via religion. That is where you got the knowledge of a
Original-
being.
Yes, originally, but what I believe in kind of mixes spirituality and science. So both kind of play off of each other and they validate each other. I'm a nerd, so I go down both of those scientific and spiritual paths, and a lot of the stuff actually does. They say the same shit. Because it's common sense. It's just
Mhm.
common sense.
Mhm.
Love, kindness,
Mhm.
just little certain common sense things. But then I can do a because I'm ready to go down a rabbit hole. This is actually one of my favorite
Yeah.
topics, but
You
so I'm like,
let me know how much time y'all want to spend here. I'm good.
yeah.
I'm good. So it's up to y'all.
But I don't believe in that be like that whole I believe in the light and the dark. I believe that it's all the same. I believe everything's the same. Like they're trying to separate, like the God is over here and the devil is over here, and then we're here and this is that and all that. No, we're all of those things. We're all light and dark. We're all evil and good. We're all fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, so we all have it in us. It's not the devil making me do it. It's not God making me do it. That's you and what you wanted to do, right?
Yep.
So that's like
I love that. You know why? Because something that could be considered a sin could be someone's desperation to feed their child.
Right.
right.
Exactly. Let's talk about, we're
Right.
talking about our community. Let's talk about survival sex. Let's talk about young
Right.
people who are on the streets and all they can do is trick to eat, you know,
Right.
and to have some and to
Exactly.
be able to stay in a hotel for the night. So yeah.
Exactly.
not sin in
That's
my
the
book.
point I'm making.
So it's
Yeah,
like,
that's
no,
what I don't like
that's
that.
devil's stuff. And I'm like, you have to feed the child. You got to feed, what are you going to do? You have to feed the child. So I think
Right.
you're
Exactly.
absolutely
What's
right.
the greater sin?
Right. We all have that in us. Cause there have been times where I was like, how do you hide a body?
Oh yeah. Right. Right.
Allegedly.
And then other times
Allegedly.
I've been,
Allegedly.
right?
You thought about
Allegedly. And then other times I've been like, oh my God, you have no place to stay. You must come into my home. I will not see you in the street. So, and that's the good
Right.
side, right? So you're absolutely right. We have that in us. I think it's circumstantial. I don't think it's like, well, the God devil made. I ain't got no beef with the devil. Y'all bugging. He's half the time the devil's like, I didn't do that. Like, what do you?
Right. They stay lying on God and the devil. They stay lying on both of them. And they both
They just give
like,
them scripts. They give them
Yeah.
scripts.
I'm a little jealous. I don't even look good in red. He pulls that motherfucker off every single day.
Not the red.
What's that pitchfork? Glamorous.
I mean that's
Lili,
why
you hit.
Go
I was
ahead.
just saying that Lili just hit on a comment that I see my sister in the comments down there saying that prevailing note of treat each other well. Why can't we focus on that part?
Right.
Why can't be the sole focus? Treat each other well. And
just do your best
leave it
to
at
be a
that.
good human. Do your best to be a good human, and also know that you're gonna fuck up, right? And also know that other humans are gonna fuck up, and just like it's just that simple. It's not so deep. People try to make it so deep, and so it's really not. It's really not.
Right.
It's not that deep.
Humans are gonna human with or without
Right.
religion. We've seen the most religious people do some of the most heinous things, like horrible things. I mean, people go to war and they bless the rifles. I'm like, do you know that rifle is gonna kill 500 people?
You know what I love?
It's gonna kill 500 people, sir, with the white dress. It's gonna
with the white dress.
Sir, the rifle. I don't want to interrupt. Sir, I don't mean to interrupt, but I don't want to interrupt. Espíritu Santo, sir. I don't want to interrupt. I just got it.
I love it when they say the baby survived the plane crash. It's a miracle.
Oh, please don't get me started.
The other 350 people, what was
Fuck
it?
them, right? Fuck them. Don't focus on them. Focus over here. But
don't look at the man. Yes, don't look up. That movie. Yeah.
Oh God.
I guess for me,
but is that flesh burning? I smell. Do you smell flesh, Meredith? Do you smell hair burning? Don't look over the baby. The baby survived. Stay focused.
I guess for me,
This is God's plan.
When I look at it,
Baby.
in my mind, it's like, okay, 1 million people are dead with religion. Without religion, it'll probably be 5 or 10 million people.
You think?
People, I just don't trust people.
Oh God.
You know what I mean? And I
don't know, but look on the other side of that. I mentioned Rwanda. That was about religion. Nazis and Jews. That's about religion. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like
that's my point. That's my point.
You know, if you look at it, if you really look at it, all these religions, all of these political ideas, all of these texts and arguments, it boils us down as human beings to one thing, to two things rather.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you believe in, and how do you fuck?
Yeah.
Who do you believe in, and how do you fuck?
Yeah. Really.
Right. Really, at the end of the
Really?
day, judge you on who or what you believe in, and how do you fuck.
Yeah. That's true.
Pretty much.
Straight? Are you gay? Are you blah blah blah? Are you religious?
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
And they might think you fuck great. They just don't like who you fuck great.
Right.
So
I fuck really good. Okay. So don't get me on that. Don't send me the hell on that.
Human beings, who or what do we believe in, and who or whom we fuck? Is that who we are as human beings? At the end of the day, like, I'm accepted just as long as I tell you, or I fuck the same people that the majority fucks, and I believe in the same God that the majority believes in. Okay,
That's excellent. You know why? Because, depending on the religion, whatever, Christian, Catholic, blah, 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 like they all have their own set of rules, but you notice they only have a hard on for those two that you mentioned.
Mhm.
Because there's honor thy mother and thy father. There's don't eat pork. There's don't covet your neighbor's wife. There are a plethora of sins, but those two are the ones that are always standing out. Just those two. Those two.
Every
Oh
Right.
time
Lord,
someone says, "I don't eat pork,"
here come Kennedy.
uh-oh.
Let's see how long he
Uh
survives.
oh.
Hi,
Uh-oh.
Kennedy.
Which rhymes with
Hi,
Hennessy,
Kennedy.
David, for a
What
reason.
you mean? How long I survived, baby?
Let's see. How are you, Kennedy? How are you? Good
Man,
evening.
sitting over here hiding in the mountain, go chilling. You know what I'm talking about?
Okay, that's what's up. Lily, I'm gonna leave you with Kennedy for 2 seconds. Let me grab some. Haran is here. Haran is here.
Hey, look, she said, hey, Roy, salute, dog.
What's going on, Kennedy, man?
Man, what's going on? How you doing, Harold? How you doing, Mister? Up there, what's your name?
David, a pleasure to meet you.
I'm higher than a mountain goat trying to read Mister.
We didn't notice. We didn't notice.
White beater.
You can just call me David.
Already, Lily. Already, salute. And Muhammad.
Hey.
Already. How y'all doing, man? I'm just walking in on this. How y'all doing?
All right.
Yeah, we
A good night.
Kennedy,
Yes.
walked in on, dog.
do you know what the topic of today was, Kennedy?
What?
The topic of today is that we sat back and we watched Lili's movie based on her transition.
Okay. I want to see the movie because I've always been curious about that shit. Not saying that I'm gay or nothing. I just want to see how that shit works.
Well, you know, Kennedy,
Well, it's not a porn. It's not a porn.
No, yeah.
Actually,
It's
not.
No, Kennedy,
It's not.
No, I'm talking about the actual process.
But I don't understand. You don't have to really be gay in order to watch the movie.
Yes.
It's not like a disclaimer.
Y'all
Like, it's not like an asterisk at the bottom where it says that must be homosexual in order to enjoy this movie. You know,
You must be at least this gay.
you gotta have, you gotta be this gay.
No, I'm saying I'm one of them people. I've always, because I had one of my brothers that was like that or whatever and did that. Like, I've never seen the process happen, so I'll watch it. I ain't tripping. I'm not gay, but I'll watch it.
We know you said it 3 times. We get it. We get it.
Yeah, but I'll watch it. How do I look at that?
Well, after the stream, you can watch the playback of this show, and then you'll see it on there.
I'm not tripping on that. I'm like, man, I'll watch it. I ain't tripping.
Actually, you could watch it now if you cam down and just rewind all the way to the beginning. You can still see it. You don't have to wait for the stream to end. Actually,
I ain't even tripping right now. I'm higher than a mountain goat.
It's really good.
We know, Kennedy. You're always higher than the mountain.
Chilling right now. You got to. I can't just go. Just bam. Go watch that shit right now. I'm like, I got up here.
You ease into it.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Quick question, Kennedy. If I'm correct. You said that your brother is gay.
He was gay. They killed him, shot him in his head, threw him in the front yard.
That wasn't nice. What did it have anything to do with him being gay that they did that, or it's just a bad thing that happened?
He was kind of flamboyant with it.
So
it happened last year.
So you think he was? Wait a minute. You think he was killed because he was gay, or did he have something else going on?
No, he just had other shit going on. He was real flamboyant, and I told him chill the fuck out. He never came around me like that. I hadn't seen him. I had talked to him, but I hadn't seen him in over 10 years before that happened. Because my daddy got 30 kids on his side, so you know a couple.
Oh, he was busy. He was busy.
Yeah, my daddy, he busy than a motherfucker.
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
It's like, I got sisters that are. I got a sister on my mama's side that goddamn it, she was a whole woman and got kids. Like all this shit is nothing new to me, but I've never seen the process actually go down. I'm like, I'll watch it. I ain't tripping.
Well, everyone watched it tonight. I think everyone's going to leave here not gay. So I think everyone's doing pretty well.
Don't speak too fast.
said,
Okay, sorry, David. Sorry, David. Yeah.
Yourself.
Yeah.
she said,
Sorry.
I'm sure you're not gonna leave her gay. She threw that in there. I'm like,
Listen, I tried. I told you guys my story. I tried the gay thing. I always salute the men. I'm not a pussy eater. Salute to you guys that do. More respect in the world. I had so much more respect for men after I
love
tried that shit.
ovaries. I
I
love
had
ovaries.
I had so much more respect.
You love
I
ovaries?
love ovaries, but I would still watch that process being handled because men know if they're
Um,
actually gay.
um, can,
Ron, you need to stop, man.
can you see? You know what? No, let's go down this rabbit hole.
Oh God.
Yeah, let's go. Let's
Why do
go.
you love ovaries, Tennessee?
Huh?
Did they
It's okay.
turn
I
you
could
on?
edit. I could
Oh,
edit after. Go for it, Haram.
Yeah. Why do you love ovaries, sir?
did they turn you on?
Yeah. A womb. The way a woman feel, dog. And then the reason why I wanted to see that because some men might not know when that transition goes on. They might not know what that look like.
Wait a minute, are we talking about the same thing right now?
I don't know because I don't.
No, I'm saying.
Yeah, because I
No,
lost my ovaries, so I don't have any ovaries to
see, I caught y'all off
misplace them.
guard. Y'all thought I was gonna get up here and be just
Is that an
totally.
ovary?
Oh,
No,
thank you. Could you hold that? Could you hold that
I
for
got it. I
me?
got it. I got it.
Thank you so
y'all
much.
thought I was gonna get up here and just straight be talk. I said I went from. I said many men don't know what that the procedure looks like. And
Okay.
then, like, if you with somebody you don't know, because a lot of men, I don't know if they don't understand or believe or whatever in their head. I'm like, I just want to see what the procedure is and how it look down there before.
That's not what the film was about.
Oh,
No, it really wasn't about that, Tennessee.
Lily,
Yeah, that's not what the movie was about. But if you're curious, you could Google it or go on YouTube, and they have the surgery if you want to see it. If you're curious what it looks like before and after and during the surgery, they have it on YouTube. Believe it or not.
I'm one of them people. Shit, I don't give a damn. I'm straight. I'm good. I'm like, I just like.
Well, you know what?
Four times.
I learned something new tonight, Tennessee. I learned that
You learn something new, dog. You look like
I
your life.
learned that you're familiar with that, with that procedure to some degree. Or
That's what I was trying to say to them.
Yeah,
That,
feel free to school me. I have no clue with that.
Well,
that's what I'm
I
saying.
learned something new too. Ovaries are sexy.
Mmm. I
Hey,
do love a woman with a nice set of ovaries.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
what?
Hey, man, ovaries are why I'm here and why we're all here. Great, man.
Shout out the ovaries, dog.
Shout out to ovaries.
Well, we're here because of come too, but no one wants to talk about that.
I mean, doesn't get the same impact
It
as the
really
ovary
doesn't.
thing.
That's really why we're here.
It doesn't. It makes an impact, but it doesn't.
Hey, Harold, what
What's
did
up,
you
brother?
drag me into, dog?
I
What did
dragged you into this.
You actually volunteer. You
Dragged
volunteer.
in,
You
sir. Hold on a minute now. Hold on a minute now.
Harold dragged me into this?
Hold on. Hold on. No, sir. That is you, Tennessee Williams, on the block with Jen. It's me, Houston. What's the link? That is you, right, sir?
I'm on here right now. You just not catching up.
Okay, look, that's you again, is it not? What's the link? That is you, sir.
I'm up here.
Okay, so ain't nobody drag you up here now, Tennessee. Keep it 100. You came on up.
Drag me up here. I'm talking shit.
Did you? Is Tennessee
into this conversation?
is
That's it.
Is Tennessee your birth name? Is Tennessee your birth name?
Huh?
Is Tennessee your birth name?
No, that's my rap name.
Oh, you're a rapper.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is about to get good.
Yeah, it's about to get good.
Yes, it is.
So,
know where this going, Lili.
what's your government name? What's your name? Chester?
Yeah, whatever you want to call it.
Roger. You look like a Roger.
I know where Lili gonna go with this. I am in no way like that, but I know where you're going with that, Lili.
Where,
I don't know.
Oh,
Where am I going? Where am I going?
you're gonna try to drag me down that rabbit hole. No, I'm not like that. No, 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 no.
actually, I was gonna ask you to rap because you said
Yeah,
you were a
that's what I
rapper.
was going to ask you to
Oh,
do too, Hennessy. But what was it that you were thinking I was going to ask
no, I
of
saw
you?
where you were going after that because you
No, no,
already
I didn't. I
because
don't
you
know.
know a lot of these dudes be in the game and they be flip flopping, and I know
The rap game, or
Well,
Flip
rock
flopping.
and roll has always been like that. But I'm just
I
saying,
don't understand what
I
you're
don't know
talking
what we're talking about.
about.
yeah.
well,
You gonna rap for us, Kennedy? You want to rap for us, Kennedy?
that's up to y'all.
Yeah, it's up to us. We want to hear you rap. Let's hear it.
A good freestyler do me.
A good freestyle.
Yep.
Uh, often feeling living life on the edge of going broken. Fuck that breaking down my slice. Through God, I'm living right, but on these streets is day and night. Gotta live a little, die a little, just to get it right. Faithful boy, be careful. Careful, safe, the same rules. By the time I get this money, I would be that same dude. Chasing what I'm chasing in and out of situation, not that far from graduation. How I learned in education now, an open book. Stop listening, look, niggas shook. Still talking about who asses they gon' whoop, niggas shook. Still living above their means with no reaction, no action. Break this shit down from whole to fraction. Who asking if I spit this shit and still got it? Melodic.
Okay, you want to give us a whole concert? I
Yeah,
just asked for a quick freestyle. Like, come on,
don't
Block
ask me
Talent
to
Battle. You don't
do
even get that
something.
long. Stop stealing time. You don't even get that long on Block Talent. Where you was at in Block Talent Battle? You coming up on Thursday night on the Pride night, and you wasn't around for the 7 Block Talent battles.
I never heard of that.
Mm, mm.
Damn, you mad at me because I ain't heard of it?
No, I'm just judging you. That's all. I'm not bad.
Man,
Mm,
I my bad, I ain't never heard of it.
mhm.
It's okay. It's okay.
Hey, no, it's okay that I ain't heard of it.
I know we're agreeing. We just agreed.
I
You
just
said it's okay. I said it's okay. Then you said
I
no, it's okay.
ain't around this motherfucker, y'all. I'm like, I said, okay, I didn't know. I
How
said,
long you been rapping, Kennedy?
uh, over 20 years.
It's like a hobby.
Mm,
I'm just asking.
yeah,
It's
it
a
ain't.
hobby. Okay.
I was selling dope and just did rap when I feel like it.
Okay. All
I was
right.
selling dope and I just rap when I feel like it.
Oh, okay.
All
Oh,
right.
see me online. I'm doing my thing. Don't get it twisted.
Okay. And we will not twist it.
Who is this? Is that him again? Hey, did he
Yo,
drop
daddy, bitch. That's Haran trying to come back up.
the who? The what? The when? The what? I think I need a wife beater. I don't feel official. Mister got on a wife beater. I think I need one. I'm like, damn, I need a wife beater too. God damn it. Or
No,
damn.
you don't, Kennedy. You're good.
Yeah. That wasn't. I didn't look and say, you know what? I'm gonna learn to see kind see the white beater.
Right. Yeah. No, you good.
No.
I
You good
got
in the full
three chest
t-shirts.
hairs. Leave me alone. I'm a sex symbol. Stop, stop it. They got to check me out.
Okay.
I blame Cameron for this shit. I blame him. You
You
know?
getting blamed, Haran. You stuck. You stuck, Haran.
All
Mm.
right.
Well,
This was a wonderful
it
night.
was. Thank goodness that YouTube lets you edit after.
Because yeah.
You know what? Yeah, it's good that YouTube lets you edit.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Okay.
So you're gonna edit me out this whole
Oh,
thing.
you definitely getting edited out. You know. I say what I'm about to do. You definitely gonna edit out. You
I know
completely out.
every time I
Completely.
come up
Like Big Scissor.
here. I know every time I come up here, you editing me out. I
Well, see, see, ain't no lie on the block. You know that much. That's what I'm talking about. You know what time it is, Kennedy. We appreciate you, though. We appreciate you live. You are something live, but just doesn't make the edit.
I don't give a damn.
You're always welcome up here, homie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Not good.
sure are.
you know what I mean? You're always welcome, man.
Dog, you know one thing about this, dog? I don't even be tripping on nothing. I just be chilling. I be hot in the motherfucker.
Joseph stupid. Joseph
Right.
said he makes it sound like you turn into the hill. I want to know how that happens, how they turn into that.
Right. I'm still trying to figure all this out.
You go, Gabe. So what happens to them? They start morphing.
Oh God.
Like, how does that? I want to know how that happens. I want to know the transition. What happens? What is happening right now?
Sitting up chilling, dog. I straight be sitting up chilling. Nothing bothers me. I don't know what it is. I just like chilling. When I'm hot,
It may not be the weed that's keeping
no,
you unbothered.
naturally chilling.
That's good, man.
I'm a person
Be
that
unbothered, brother.
naturally be chilling.
Seriously, it's great to be unbothered.
Man, what if you let shit bother you, dog? Oh Lord, you'll be in a whole lot of trouble, my nigga.
Absolutely.
You'll
Absolutely.
be in a whole lot of trouble because look at it. Summer's popping up. People are losing their mind. So you can't lose your mind with them.
Absolutely not.
Tap
Absolutely.
Records, I see you. It was a beautiful stream. Kennessy's doing something else, but it was a beautiful stream, beautiful film.
I popped in at the last minute. My bad, goddamn.
It's okay.
No, you good, homie. You good, Dennis.
No, I'm saying I'm supposed to get clipped out because I didn't come in at the right time on this shit. You supposed
Right.
to clip it out. I don't feel no way about this. I'm
Okay.
chilling.
Okay, Kennedy. I was addressing somebody in the chat, Kennedy.
As long as I got a chance to sit up here and chill with y'all, man. I just did a show said I love all y'all, and I mean that shit.
Oh, we love you back.
No, I'm saying I just did a live on my shit. Came over here, saw you alive, and then just popped up.
Spread more love.
Yeah. Shit, man, don't be tripping. You supposed to cut out what don't go with the show.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel no way. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Kennedy. So good night.
Love y'all and be safe, man.
Take care of yourself, brother.
Okay. So you guys, we are at the end. Okay. We're at the end. I was thinking, what happened, Haran?
Always magical here on the block.
Always.
Never know.
Oh my God, David, you have to come when we have other topics.
We're at the end. We're higher than a mountain goat and gay as hell.
Yeah,
Right.
Gay as fuck.
Seriously, that was a lot of fun, and wow, definitely. So you just let me know, or I will just show the fuck up.
Oh my God, yes, that's what we love. Just pull up, like we say,
Just
pull up
pull
on
up.
the block. We'll see your car parking, like, oh, there you go. Yeah, so please come back. You were a joy, an absolute joy.
So much. And I'm glad everyone liked the movie. That was
beautiful.
That was literally a labor of love between me and Lili. So
absolutely beautiful. Also, David, I was telling Lili because I wanted to play the film for like the beginning of Pride Month, but I was thinking let's do an encore at the end and have this conversation again. June 30th or 31st. I think it's 30th, right? 30th.
I'm horrible with dates, but
I do too. I always forget that too. And then Pride is like the 24th or something.
Yeah.
New York Pride is that weekend.
Are you guys going?
Yes.
So unnecessary information. I'm on the disabled list, so I am not going. I was supposed to go. My other gig is marching, and I was supposed to march. I was all excited about it. Even have made friends with anyone watch Nora from Queens? Anyone watch Orange is the New Black?
Yes.
Okay. God, fuck, I forget her character name, but
she's one of them.
Lisa Tan Chin. She's the small senior Asian inmate.
Mm-hmm.
Funny as fuck. She's a comedian, and we've kind of become friends. So she was going to come and march with us, but now I'm not marching.
Mm. Okay. Well,
We're doing this
someone
here
said
live.
30th. Someone
Yeah,
said 30th, June 30th. We can circle back June 30th and do another screening to close out Pride Month. And talk about some more stuff. Talk about, you know what I mean, the parade and all of that. Lily, anything else you want to add? But
Oh, yeah, there's a lot that
the
could be.
movie is worth screening again. I'd love to do it again. Great turnout. I was nervous. I was telling Lily, I was like, no, we're advertising the day before. How could we? But it turned out really well. So imagine if we advertise way ahead, let people know if they missed this screening in the Q&A.
Yeah.
Make sure everybody's Wi-Fi is good. Haran, you were choppy. Catherine her sound was off. So I felt bad. I'm sorry, I'm chewing with my mouth full. I am a pig. I'm telling y'all that up front. See? No secrets. I did feel bad that some of her audio was off because I wanted people to hear what she was saying because it was important. And the audio was off. So, we'll give her enough time to get that audio together. And we'll do it again. And I won't let Kevin Samuel slip in. That was terrible. I edit that out too. I was like, fuck. I'm back here with the controls and the buttons and shit. Thank you for your honesty, Haran. I hate people that pander just because the people are in the room. I'm like, don't fucking pander to me. Tell me what it is. So,
and that's why me and Haran get along so well because we don't know. All three of us, we don't pander to each other. We just say it like it is, keep it moving, and it's just that simple. I can't stand pandering.
For real, Haran, it was a pleasure and a refreshing one at that.
Mm-hmm. Like I call Lily. Was it me? Lily, was it me? Because you can tell me if it was me. Like I have that panic thing. Was it,
right.
I did too much.
Yeah. It was one day me and Haran had to be.
Yeah, there was one day where I was like, Hedda, you kind of. Yeah.
It's true. No, it's true. It's true. It's true. I'm like, damn. I'm like, when Lily and Haran's face twist up, I know it was me. I was like, I'll take my things out. I'm like, I'll take my things out. I don't need this abuse. I will take my things and go. No, so I mean, we all do that. We all do that. We that's what we do. That's why we're here.
Right.
Ishmael, you are back. You were saying.
I actually took a moment to also watch your piece. It was good. It was shot well, and it was told well. So and it was the right duration. You know, what I mean, it took us down from beginning to end, and didn't like over push a point. You know what I'm saying? It showed us all the what is it, the 3-act structure. We saw the 3-act structure in it, and so it was done well. That's dope.
Thank you.
You're making me feel more courageous and get off my filmmaking snobbery. Like maybe I can shoot something with my iPhone.
They did it. It was beautiful. I was surprised to hear it was a phone.
It looks great, and the lighting was dope. The lighting was dope. I saw that. I saw
everything exterior was practical, and inside was practically practical.
Right.
we had a series of ring lights and Christmas tree.
Right, whatever we can find.
But you know what? Their Wife Swap was shot like that. It very rarely is Wife Swap. There are a few lights, but normally when you're shooting in someone's home, you're shooting in all these other directions. They would get lights from Walmart, and
right.
So it can be done, and it is done. So that was dope. I mean, it just shows your skill sets as a filmmaker as well.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, like you'd be surprised how much commercial stuff that you're actually looking at you wouldn't even know was actually shot with an iPhone.
Right.
Mhm.
That's actually in a movie theater, and you wouldn't know that. Yeah, somebody shot that with an iPhone.
Correct.
You know,
Mhm.
they understand angles, they understand, placing, they understand storytelling, and if you throw some fucking filters on top of that shit, they'll look literally the fucking same.
Yep.
Literally.
That is so freaking true. I mean, there's so much. Some people are just talented. They have an eye. They have an eye, and they can do it with an iPhone or a 7D or a big. They just have an eye. So no matter what you put in their hand, they're gonna make
Right.
magic. Some people are
Right.
like that, and that's how I saw that film. I'm shocked. I'm thinking you're gonna tell us a camera. I've completely. It makes it even better. I'm like a phone, and it should inspire people. I don't like those people that are constantly nitpicking about a production and then shit never gets done. I can't work with people like that. I'm like, I
Yeah.
need people that I say, look, all I got is some bubble gum and some Band-Aids and some duct tape. Can
That
we
was
do
us.
this?
We're
And
gonna
and
do
they're
it.
like, fuck it, let's rock, let's do it. And we'll worry about it in post, we'll
Oh,
dress it up.
I mean, look,
you
man,
want to hear what's funny? We were so broke, I couldn't even afford. Remember, David? I couldn't even afford a
If
whole
you're gonna
wig.
say, God damn it! I was just gonna say the same thing.
What?
I couldn't even afford a whole
We
wig.
couldn't afford a
That
wig,
was
so she got like 5-6 extensions and stuck them
I
on the
put
front
I
do
put
rag
them underneath a do rag, and there's just pieces of like
Oh
the
my
fake
God,
lock hanging.
Lili.
because she wanted a whole lot wig.
it
Wasn't
worked.
gonna happen.
That's hilarious. I love it. So,
Yeah.
good night, Joseph. Thank you so much for supporting. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
coming
Joseph.
through.
Thanks, Joseph. Loved your insights.
Yeah, that's our buddy right there. That's my
For
buddy.
real. Cam up next time. We'll have an encore for sure. It deserves an encore. So tell us, you guys, what were the bloopers or the faux pas or like, oh my God, you'll never believe what we had to do for X, Y, and Z before we go.
I got another one with Devin because that
Hmm.
was his first time ever acting, ever being on camera,
And
and
Devin played
so
who?
The little
me, the
boy.
young me,
Okay. Oh, the baby.
the cutest thing ever. So he comes in, he's the cutest thing, and we give him the thing full of toys. And you remember it's like boys' toys at the top, and then the doll at the bottom. He's like, "Oh, look at all these toys!" And we're like, "Oh, okay, hold on." No. So
He's like, yay.
yeah, we're like, no, actually, you're not supposed to be excited about those toys. What you're excited about is at the bottom. And he was like, but it's a doll. And we were like,
How cute.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like, so you're gonna be excited. He goes, but I don't like dolls. He goes, but my sister likes dolls. And we were like, okay, so act like, what would your sister act like if she saw that? And I think that's what
Mhm.
we did, and that's how we ended up getting that scene.
Now
I
you
was
said
like,
that. Oh, go ahead, David.
he really took direction, like he
Mhm.
got it. He got it. So
Yeah.
Oh, kids are the best.
Yeah.
You said that it was hard for you to find a kid. How did you find him then? His parents were cool, like, yeah.
His mother actually works for an organization that deals with a lot of transgender community,
Oh, okay.
and
So,
she's in the world, like she gets it. There was no coercion, but there were other people that were just like, I may, but my husband may not. It was a lot of that.
yeah, and you know how we like to work, Lily. It's like either you with it or you're not. I don't like the hemming and
that's the
hawing.
thing. Yeah, like give me a yes and stick to it, or we're never gonna talk again on that level.
Yeah, I like that conviction. Off with your
So,
head,
like,
bitch.
I got a question in relationship to Devin. At the end, you had him with a different toy. Was there a purpose in that, or was
It
it
was the
just
same.
no? There was a superhero toy. I mean, I
oh,
didn't
in
know if there was
in the last shot, he
Oh,
was,
right.
yeah, because he loved the toys, so he
oh yeah,
grabbed.
he took them toys
Yeah.
Okay,
home.
so I didn't know if there was something that was implied subtly there for that
We did
purpose.
learn you
No,
cannot buy a black doll in East New York.
yeah, that was the problem. We could not find a black doll because
Yeah, because
we
Really?
I was
lived
looking at that doll. Was like, why they got the blonde
Yep.
Barbie?
We were all over the neighborhood, and
but it was realistic because back in the 80s, it was hard to find a black Barbie doll.
Yeah.
So it still was
True.
true to form.
Ironically,
Mm-hmm.
or
The
if
closest I was Malibu Barbie. She had a tan. She
Okay,
had tan
yeah,
lines. She had a
yeah.
tan.
It was.
Malibu
It was.
Barbie had a
yeah.
tan.
They was still. Yep. They was doing Malibu Barbie. Yep.
or it can
She had a
also show
tan.
you, or it can also be a testament to how much things haven't changed. Which is hard for you to find out in 2023.
Oh, true.
Right.
Yes.
But
Because
it's,
we only had a little bit of time with Devin, and that's what it was. We had to we only had him for that little small amount of time,
Yeah.
and we was like, oh shoot, we need the doll. So I'm like trying to run and get the doll. He's trying to get Devin ready. It was a lot going on, and then he wasn't even there for all of his scenes. We had to fake him in some parts of his scenes. He's not even there.
Oh. Yeah, he was adorable. Tear jerker. Wow.
Oh my God.
Amazing.
And I hadn't seen it in a moment, and just getting ready for things, earlier on today, I put it on. I'm like, God damn it, I'm crying again.
Yeah. The music. Where'd the music come from?
That was all from, it was all stock music. With the
Oh.
exception of, I needed something that didn't sound like it was playing in an elevator, and I found those two pieces on freemusicarchive.org. And that it was the one where Lili and Orlando are dancing. It's a little dance track, and then also when the gay stranger sits next to Lili, there was a little song I found.
So you edited, you picked all the music and you scored and all that.
Scoring through music is
well, in the future, if you ever need any kind of scoring, you can reach out to me and I'll help you out.
That is great to hear. Good.
And we'll dissect the piece and we'll go back and forth with some stuff.
Yeah. If you honestly, I'll just say this and then we can get out of here. First of all, thank you for your time, David. We do this every night, but I know it's hard to freaking cam up and stay here for hours talking shit. We appreciated all the shit you talked. Okay. Also, I just want to say, as a fellow artist, as a fellow writer, I say this from my heart. If you guys put that together with some bubble gum and some Band-Aid, this is your calling. Please keep telling stories. Please keep working. Because if you did that with that little bit, I can't even imagine what you're capable of as this gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And it will get bigger, because I said so. That's right.
Right. That's right.
Manifest.
That's right.
Yes.
This was awesome. David, thank you so much for coming. I couldn't do this without you. The moment Jen said she wanted to do this, I said, oh, we got to have David. Can't do the show without him.
I was so excited, and I've been, you've been talking about Jen and the show, and it is everything that you said it was. So I'm really excited to come back. I am gonna take my hobbled ass to bed now.
Okay.
But for real, I got nothing but time. I'm not working right now because of the injury. So
David, careful! Don't tell me that, because
right,
I'll have projects. Like,
right. Now you're working.
Right. Let's go. They're called it. All right. Good night. Thank you so much.
See you.
Bye, David.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, that was so amazing. Today was so productive and beautiful. The film was beautiful. Like, it's so dope to see a friend's work, and it's really good work, right? Because it's funny, I talked earlier on my Instagram about like that fake shit, like just because people know you or they're related to you, they're giving you the pat on the back, like, yeah, this is it. I'm like, you're surrounded by a bunch of people who are full of shit. They're not telling you it's trash, right? So it was dope to be able to screen that, and it was good and heartfelt and tear jerking, and you know what I mean. And I don't cry easily on films and stuff like that, but it's like you see the pain. Ooh, the pain of your younger self is something that just like hits you in the ribs, because you just want to be there for your younger self. Like, it's okay. I'm sorry nobody was here to save you, but we go through a lot.
That's why I live my life the way I live today, is because I'm always conscious of that younger self. And that's my way of making an amends, currently.
Oh, say that. That's why I cringe when I meet somebody and they start, and I met someone recently, and I'm like, as soon when I hear, like, I get triggered by these, why don't you like dial it down a little? Like, maybe if you didn't touch that, maybe if you didn't wiggle, or once you start telling me what I should, like, it's like I cringe, because it's like, do not put me in a box. Do not fuck your God, fuck your religion, fuck what your ex did to you, fuck what you think women should be doing, fuck your misogyny, fuck all of you. I will dance on a fucking table holding a glass of champagne, and if that makes you uncomfortable, that's a you problem, not a Jen problem, because I'm going to dance on the table holding the champagne glass. That's what I'm gonna do, and if it makes you uncomfortable, get the fuck away from me. And I met someone recently who's kind of like, well, you know, you should tone this down. You should fuck off. Seriously,
Yeah,
royally fuck off with Usher's
really.
dick. Fuck off. Like, get away from me.
Mm-mm.
Because people, it really does come from a place of people, they let other people conquer them, whether it was via religion or via shaming them or making them insecure. You are a conquered person via religion, via what your mama wanted, via what your daddy wanted, via what people are going to think about you in society. You're a conquered person. You cannot convince me to be a conquered person. Okay, I'm gonna do what the
Right.
fuck I want, the fuck I want. But you know, that's just me. I like you, Lily, went through hell and back to get here.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm not going back. I am
Nope.
not going back because you're conquered. I'm not going back for you, sir
I don't
or
know what to tell
ma'am
you. I don't know what to tell you, sir, ma'am.
or ma'am. Oh, my Vegatron got that reference. He said, not the bumpy dick.
No, I got it too.
Fuck off. Yeah, no, because people will do that. They're conquered. They're really conquered by society. And it's like, I want you to be conquered
Oh
too.
yeah.
I want you to feel what I no, you live with that shit. You die with that shit. That ain't gonna be me. YOLO, you only live once. We don't know how much time we got. I'm not gonna spend it worried about what your parents think of me or what you think. Go find another bitch. Go find another bitch that sits
Yeah.
down and wears turtlenecks up to here. Fuck off. Fuck,
It's not a good fit.
it's like, oh, get away from me. It's cringe. It's cringe. I'll get rid of you like that. And I did. So there's the proof. All right, guys. Any parting words before we get? We will have an encore at the end of June. We will do this again. This was beautiful, and I think it's a story that should be told and told and told. It's just like a movie. Okay, any other movie we watch over and over again. If it's good, I think this deserves to end Pride Month with an encore. So Lily, tonight was your night. We gotta give Lily her flowers. All
Well,
right.
thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jen. This was your idea. Thank you, Haran. Thank you, chat. Thank you for people who've never watched the show that just wanted to come out and support. Thank you, David. Everybody, every single person means a lot to me. I was texting Haran before the show. I was like, I'm nervous. I was like, and I text you too, Jen. I said I'm nervous, and I was like, it's not about okay. Like for instance, people could have came at me about trans stuff, LGBT stuff all day. It would have just slid off my back. But coming after my art, it's just like,
Yeah,
oh, no,
sensitive
I be
about my
ready to
shit.
fight. I'm real sensitive about my shit. So, that's what I was nervous about, but everybody was very respectful and not just that, not just about the art, but the follow-up, the conversation we had afterward. We was able to show a lot of new people how we get down here on this block, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how we can have passionate conversations that we disagree on. We can just say, I don't agree, I don't understand, and still be like, okay. Like,
Right.
so I'm glad we got to show that today. So thank everybody for that.
You are very welcome, doll. And we're gonna be back mañana. We're gonna talk about what we said. Haran? Are we gonna talk about the BBL death? The
Oh,
latest BBL death? That's heavy,
Um,
man. That's heavy.
I want to talk about.
Or that wasn't there another thing? It was another
Yeah,
thing.
there was another thing. There was a dude talking about being a high value man.
That's right.
Um,
Yes, that he didn't want to be with the single mother. Yep, there's
oh
that.
yeah, let's
We could do
yeah,
both. We could do both. It's Friday.
we can do both.
We could do both.
Mhm.
and you and I were both on opposite
We were
sides.
opposite. We were on opposite ends. I didn't agree with you. And tomorrow,
Oh, good.
yeah, we on opposite ends. So tomorrow, we gonna talk about that because Haran was going one whole way, and I was like, nah, I don't agree with that. I'm over here. But I said, let's save it for the show.
Yes.
Let's
Save
save
it
it for the show. Because I, tomorrow I'm probably gonna sound like a pick me, and I'm gonna be like, come at me, bitches, because I ain't never had a problem being picked, ho. Okay. So tomorrow we'll get into that, but we really do have to talk about that BBL shit. That shit is, but unfortunately, people still gonna do it. But unfortunately, it's ironic she's an influencer because she may influence people now to not do it.
Mm-hmm.
Fucked up as it sounds.
Right.
Tristan.
What's up, Tristan? Thank you, Tristan. Thank you, Jay.
Thank you, Jay. Always consistent with the interesting, controversial topics for real. Yeah,
Totally.
we Um,
Oh, thank you, tape records.
You come to
yeah,
feelings hurt.
you get your feelings hurt up here. It's
Yeah, that
fucking New
happens.
York. That's why everybody hates us. It's fucking New
Pretty
York.
much.
Like
That happens.
everybody, y'all so rude. I'm like, rude. I didn't even start being rude, bitch.
Right. Like, what did you
this
get
is
rude
this is me
from?
being nice. What is
Right.
going
All I
on?
said was move, bitch. That's all I said. You said I'm rude. It's
See, I
crazy.
knew this was gonna come in handy. I was like,
That is
Pride.
that is super cute.
It's good. Oh, look, and it has the little things on the bottom.
You was like, you was like,
Yes.
hey, I'm here. We're together,
Listen,
right? Studio
right.
54.
Okay. I was like, Studio. I thought we were. No, we're not. That we don't like them. I just got here. I'm not ready to not like anybody. Yeah.
Yeah, the red don't like the blue and the yellow don't like the green and the
Yeah. You know what's funny? I forgot to ask Lily, but we'll save it. We'll save it for the screening. I was going to ask you about and ask David about the new flag because the flag is adding colors like every couple months. And I wanted to ask you guys about that. But we'll deal with it at the encore. We'll deal with it because we
Okay.
need more questions with them. But that flag is like, I'm good. Pink, green, blue, gray,
brown. When
brown,
they add,
flag. Yeah, it's a
I
lot. It's a
can't.
lot going on with the
Taupe.
flag right now.
Okay, motherfucking taupe, zebra print. I'm
Yeah, so
like,
zebra print.
I identify as a zebra though. If you want to know,
Hella,
Mauve,
hella.
mauve.
mom.
Mom. Oh, that's
No,
right.
I
David said,
think mom may be in there.
right. Styles by Dave said that, right? He says not pink, it's mauve.
Mom.
It's mauve, bro. Same
Right.
thing. Mauve.
Tristan said, Ish looks like he woke up from a nap and needs another nap at the same time.
Look, this is that down time right now. I'm like, and then I gotta keep up some energy for the little one. So
It's only 8 o'clock, bro. You better get some ginkgo biloba or some. I don't know.
Somebody's
Is
herb.
that what they take for? Yeah, somebody's
I
herb.
think ginkgo. Yeah,
I don't
that
even
go
know
right
what
for
ginkgo
that.
biloba
ginkgo
for
is
the
for.
brain. It's not for energy, but I
Well,
get your
Oh,
point. Every
in
time you
my
say that, that makes me laugh.
because
Some
I think
ginkgo
it's for
some.
everything too. I'm like, oh, you got AIDS? No, ginkgo biloba
Yo,
and water.
speaking of nap taking.
Oh, see, you know what?
It's time to go.
Simon over there. I mean, No Saint over there. Go hang out with No Saint. He over there.
Yeah,
You
right.
see No Saint?
Have
You
you
see
seen?
No
Yeah,
Saint since
he
you've been
is
on?
traveling.
Who was that cat that fell asleep that time?
It's
That's
him.
him.
Oh, okay.
Exhibit A.
That's
Yeah,
him.
I mean, my baby turned around. She was like, "Yo, like, I was nodding her like for a minute, and like, she turned around. She was like, "Yo, she was like, yo, I've been telling you this for a minute, like in terms of your Z's. So yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. You know, I thought it was really interesting in terms of the fact that
What was interesting?
like when you lay next to somebody else, like, and they say something like you don't really understand what they're talking about. It's like so when she turned around and said to me, "Oh, okay, that's how." Like, because I would wake up. She
Good night, Simon. Good night, Simon.
That's
All right,
right.
guys. So we are out of here. We're out of here. It was an amazing stream. Time to go wind down. I went to the pool today. I went for a swim. I swear I feel like going back. It's only 8 o'clock. I feel like sitting out there for some reason. Get some air. All right, Lily, love you. We'll talk behind the scenes. I'll do the thumbnail for tomorrow. Tristan said, "Why did Haran leave like that?"
Yeah, right. All right, I'm
Good
out.
night, Simon. I see you backstage. Good night. All right, guys, we're out of here. Please hit that like and subscribe on your way out. Thank you again for all the support. Come back tomorrow. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night. Be good. And if you can't be good, be careful. Good night, guys.